Let's see here. Hello and welcome, everybody whose name doesn't start with J. My name is Lucas. Welcome back to the third episode of the Braves podcast, the Bravescast.
Bravescast Season 2, baby.
Yeah, baby. Today with us we got Mr. Head Coach, Mr. Sergio.
Mr.
Hello,
Director,
hello.
in charge of everything.
My boss.
Our boss.
Something like that.
The reason we're allowed to actually do this mess of a show.
Oh my god. How long did the first season last?
One episode.
Nice.
No, it was
one official episode.
One official. There were a couple we had issues with because of transfers and stuff. Because
Left open this before we started.
Now an ASMR
We're
podcast. So yeah, I decided, I don't think Lucas really minded that I brought you on, but I really wanted to get you on the podcast because, at least me personally, I don't really know your background story that much on how you got into esports, how you started. I know a little bit, but I think it would be fun for you to discuss and kind of let the world know your story, or in this case, our 13 viewers at the podcast, let them know your story of how you got to be.
So Ole Miss found him in a loft in a barn.
Pretty much.
He's wearing a potato sack.
Yep, because that's Mississippi for you.
So yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself. Give us your...
Yeah, so I, started out in esports. I've been competing in Call of Duty since I was 13 years old. I was lucky enough to where my parents would take me to local events. And so I would be 13 yelling across the stage at 22-year-olds about how bad they were at the game in comparison to me. Then they changed the age in Call of Duty to where you had to be 18 plus. So I just I stopped going to local events and I just played game battles and stuff with my friends. And then I got to college. And then by this point, I was a freshman in college. I was in a dorm at a big D1 school. So I was like, well, video games aren't cool, so I'm going to stop playing. And so I was in my dorm one day doing homework, and I got on Twitch because that was my leisure back then, was Twitch streaming. I had a stint where YouTube was my comfort, background watch, and then for a while Twitch became that. And actually UCI, and I can't remember the other team I was playing, but it was a League of Legends game that I saw first, and I was like, yo. I was like, people were doing this in college. I kind of want to, I wish we had that at Ole Miss. So I went on there on our org sync thing where it showed all of our student organizations, and I looked on there, and the esports page was dormant. So I was like, oh, great. So we have nothing. And so I still decided to send an email just to see if anything would come up. And the secretary at the time reached out to me, and she was like, hey, we're actually having a meeting tomorrow if you want to come by. And so I went through and ended up going to the first meeting. There was literally 6 people. They were all playing Smash, and I was like, I can't resonate with this at all. And so I sat there and I listened to the meeting, and they were like, does anybody have any questions? So I raised my hand and I was like, hey, does anybody you have a Call of Duty team? And people literally got quiet and laughed, and I was like, I didn't know what to say, and they were like, well, why would anybody want to play that at the collegiate levels? I was like, okay, I'll show you. And so went on my little redemption arc and started the CCL with some other college students from around the country, some from Ohio State, some that went to the University of Toronto actually. And so we really took that off and brought that headstrong to what it is today. And then it got to a point where I took over as leadership within that program for 3 years, and we were student-led, student-driven. We didn't have scholarships. We we're knocking on administration doors every 2 months asking for anything at all, a facility, anything. And so then from that point, it got to a point where I started getting involved with things like community, started working with the Southeast Esports Coalition and things like that. All things that, I was doing voluntarily. None of these things are jobs, even part-time. I was doing everything, pretty much voluntarily at that point. And by the time I was ready to graduate, COVID hit. And so I spent my last year, semester in college, online, of course. And so in terms of the esports thing, my original plan was to go through, finish my degree. I was going to go to law school and become a prosecutor because I like pre-law. I love that degree, and the law school at Ole Miss is really good. And so, but by the time I was getting ready to graduate, I was so involved in other esports endeavors and in so many esports aspects that people were like, bro, if you don't graduate and try to get into collegiate and stay, you'd be stupid. And so I finally decided, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And so by the time I graduated, it was either Ottawa, there was a couple other schools that wanted me, but when it came down to it, I saw, some of the content. Actually, one of the first videos I saw was one of the Bravescast when I was looking at my options and seeing where I wanted to go. And I was like, this looks like a very passionate group of students, so let me go here. And come to find out, it was a train wreck. But, you know.
Welcome to the party.
But since then, yeah, we've been going strong, and this program has definitely turned into something pretty darn special, I think. So that was my short journey, basically, through collegiate.
Out of all the choices, you picked middle of nowhere Kansas.
Well, I figured, I was like, man, like if there's an esports program in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, and kids are coming here, like something has to be up. And so I was like, okay, let me figure out what is going on here. And so little did I know, like y'all have a very, very good setup here. Like for real. Like I wish, when I was in school, I wish we could have had something like this. Even at like a D1 school, we have stuff like this. It's actually insane.
It's insane to look, like, you can look at the old videos back before you got here with like some of the tours, but I know when I was first like watching those videos, when I got an offer, but like kind of just was told that this was here.
Yeah.
I looked at some of those, and then like I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I got here, I was like, oh yeah, this is
It's a different ball game. Yeah.
Like I thought something completely different was going on compared from online to in person. So
yeah, because I'm like, when I got hired, I remember it was like over a Christmas break and you all were on, so I got to meet some of y'all through Zoom and everything like that. But like when I first got on campus, I think you all were still on break, and so I got to come in and see the arena. I was like, yo, like this is like this. Like they had told me, they were like, yeah, we have a esports facility, and I was like, oh, okay, it's just like gonna be like a classroom, like other schools, with like a big logo on the wall and a couple computers. And then I walked in, and I was like,
we got the auditorium.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, this is crazy. So yeah, it was definitely a different ballgame to be here.
And the alumni is very mad about that.
They don't, they don't like us very much, but like even for alumni, like it's still cool to see some of like the older people who will respect the new generation kind of like come in here and see the different things that we got going on, because like I personally never was around to see it before all that happened, but like I've only got ideas of what it could look like. So
yeah, and I think the success definitely helps. I mean, we have alumni come in, and the first thing that admissions will talk about is the championships and like the growth of it. So I think the success is helping a lot of alumni come around to it. I just think like most of the alumni here are super old, and so like the theater department here was like, that was their staple, right? So even like we had like these town halls where the staff gets to talk to the university president, and we go over things that we think should be fixed about the university and stuff. Shout out to Bill. He actually, one of the ladies was like, can we bring back the arts department? I mean, we got rid of it for esports. I was like, I'm here, like God, like,
excuse me.
I know. I was like, geez. So I mean, but yeah.
Did the arts department have 2 natties? Don't think so.
Do not think
Just
so.
saying.
Do not think so at all. So, yeah. I mean, people definitely were a little bit upset about it, but like I said, I think the success of the program and the growth of it has definitely, the campus as a whole. Like when I came in, security hated y'all. Like, oh my God.
Like there was one security member that liked us.
Yeah, but
that was because he related to us.
We like to pull late nights, and security doesn't like to pull late nights. And
this is going to be a bad look on my part. Our COD team is still stupidly successful, right?
Yeah.
A little suspicious that the man who essentially invented college COD came to the most successul COD college.
I was going to say something about that.
Yeah.
Just the fact that we're talking about middle of nowhere Kansas. It's like, look at all these other cool offers. Wait, national championship in COD.
Well, see, when I came in, the natty hadn't happened yet. And so, like, for me, I could have went, there was a couple schools that I could have went to and like started my own program and done my own thing, which is obviously ideal, right? But for me, like infrastructure is important and like resources are important. So like when I looked at some of these other offers, it was literally, a lot of schools will essentially want to hire you to babysit a club, essentially. And I did not want to go somewhere just to babysit a club. Like I wanted to actually be a part of a program and help build like a program up. So, you know, it was either middle of nowhere Kansas or babysit college students. And then when you look at it that way, middle of nowhere Kansas doesn't sound too bad.
I mean, let's be honest, you're still babysitting.
I'm still babysitting. 100%. Yeah, I'm still definitely still babysitting.
But at least you have other things.
At least I get to choose who I babysit.
Exactly.
You know, I get to choose who I want to babysit.
I'm still buying you that couch for your office.
Okay,
I hope you know
that's
that.
fine.
I talked about this earlier with him and a different professor. We're buying him a love seat to put on that wall opposite of the window, or against the window.
Against the window?
Yeah, so we can come in and have therapy sessions.
There.
I think it'll be a good one.
I had a whole list of things I was going to ask you, and then I just don't remember where I put it. I know.
I think you're the editor, huh?
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
We don't edit these.
Yeah, it's probably going to still be uncut.
We chop the front and the back.
I only edit out swears with the Among Us emergency meeting sound, which was chosen by Riley. and edit out any stupid stuff we say or leaks, which we haven't leaked anything yet, but we have said some dumb stuff in the last episode that had to get cut out.
Nice.
So
Say.
we're pretty professional here.
Was it the 20-minute talk about
The Thing?
the 20-minute talk about Hamilton? Was it Hamilton?
No.
What was it?
All that stayed in.
Oh, good,
It was towards the end.
Hamilton
That-
is gas, by the way. I
I'm
just
actually going to
recently.
strangle you.
No, I just
And-
recently watched
and
it.
Here we go again. Mark it up.
And I just recently watched it, and I actually really, and I typically hate musicals. Like I
There's
do
a
not like
lot.
musicals.
There's a lot of good ways, but we had good ones out there. But we had this discussion with Riley on the
There's a
last
lot of
podcast,
good ones better
where
than Hamilton.
once a musical goes mainstream, it just kills it.
Once a musical goes Broadway.
Mm-hmm. Hamilton's like okay, like
I
don't get me
think-
wrong, like
yeah.
just all
Welcome
around
back
it.
to the weekly Bravescast musical talk.
I
Today
think
we're
I-
discussing Hamilton again.
I think I liked it so much because like I'm a big rap fan, and so I like I could be wrong. Comments do not kill me, but like I feel like there hasn't been a musical that's really taken that genre and ran with it like Hamilton did. But I will say it's not my favorite musical. My favorite is Les Mis. I really
Les
like
Mis
Les Mis.
is-
I like Les Mis a lot. Les Mis a lot. And the crazy part is I didn't even want to see Les Mis. I literally was in high school dating this girl, and she was like, oh, like, I'll go see a movie with you if you go see Les Mis with me. And so we went to the movie to see Les Mis, and it was literally only so I could talk to this girl. Like, I did not want to go see that movie, and by the end, I was literally on a date crying, bro. Like, it was insane.
No, there's definitely some good ones out there if you know what to look for. But
You said you watched Hamilton because you like rap. Hamilton is kids bop rap.
yeah,
It is. It definitely is. But, well, there was some curse words and stuff in there, and it was very like adult themey. But I get what you mean for sure. But like even still, like with that like the battle rap scene that they had. I forgot which two characters are doing it, but I was like, yo, this is.
Oh,
like,
this
is dope.
Second act, Hamilton versus Jefferson. I think.
yeah, I was
don't
like, bro,
care.
this is dope.
Let's get off of this because we're going to talk about Hamilton.
Yeah, I
for
had
the
my
next 20
Hamilton
minutes.
phase for a while where it was I basically because if in all honesty it's like a legit musical where every line is music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I had the point where when I was working I'd just have the musical running over my headphones and I was basically watching it and it got to the point where I could picture the musical in my head and I was singing along and all of that and I feel bad for the people who I had to check out during that phase.
I will say I don't get people that can like take musicals and listen to the actual soundtracks in the car. That's like beyond me. Like
You've never seen Grease.
Grease, I don't like Grease. I don't like Grease.
I want this podcast over. We're done.
I don't like
We're
Grease.
done.
Bro, like I don't know. Maybe it's because is there a black character in Grease?
Well, let me give you a hint. It's set in the 50s.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. That's
That's
why I don't like it,
I was
bro.
trying to rethink of like because I think they made
No,
a I
there's
think they
not.
made a
was
remake
Grease a play or a
recently.
movie first? It was
It was a musical
yeah.
into a movie. But
There
I
is
think-
one character. There's a black character in Grease. It's during the mechanic scene.
probably.
He's a background character.
yep, well.
Shocker.
there it is.
Good God.
No,
I was
okay.
going to say musicals that are better than Hamilton because now we're in this now. I was trying to avoid this, but we're doing this now.
We'll have at least one before
Yeah,
episode 10
yeah.
where we don't go into a musical rant.
It'll be till episode 10.
Yeah.
The two best musicals better than Hamilton: Grease, which you don't like, so your opinion's invalid,
Nope.
and Music Man.
I've never seen that one.
That one's
Oh,
fantastic.
I've never seen that one.
Music Man's amazing.
It's such a... I talk about music. I've never seen it live in person, but I got I say a taste. But our high school back after I graduated did Music Man Junior, which isn't Music Man, but it's a taste of Music Man.
It's not Music Man. It's bad.
Yeah.
What's the actor who played the brother in 2.5 Men? Not Charlie
Oh
Sheen.
Lord, I haven't seen that show in forever.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
I've never watched the show. Well, I've watched.
You know the actor
episode.
who played
watched
the
the
live
episode.
action Inspector Gadget, right?
Okay, yeah.
He plays the main character in Music Man in the movie.
Okay. That
I
makes
think
sense.
they look
so
the
that's
same.
that's a musical turned to a movie too, or was that a movie first?
Inspector Gadget?
Music band.
It was a musical first. Yeah.
Musical
Okay.
first.
My high school did it. It was great. That's
Really?
such a fun musical.
It is. I'm so mad that we did Music Man Junior because I actually wanted to hear the original one because it's so good.
The opening 15 minutes of Music Man is better than any other musical in my opinion. That train scene is it's great.
Okay, so
So do we want to do the Ottawa talk to get it out of the way, like the 10 minutes of us talking about stuff at Ottawa?
No, I was going to go back to talking about Sergio a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the other questions
fine.
one of the other questions I can remember having written down is obviously you talked about Old Miss, how you went back and competed in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
What was it like adapting from being like a full-time contender to kind of stepping back into like a coaching role overall? Because like you said, you kind of player coached all of that, and you were. So what was it kind of like taking that step away from being on an active roster and more in that leadership role where you get to kind of trying to see how to say it, like kind of help guide younger generations into that playership role?
Yeah, so you mean while I was at Ole Miss or coming
just
from
in
like,
general, like shifting into that role?
Yeah, so I kind of got a good taste of it even before I got here, just because like we started working with local high schools within that community and making sure that we were getting involved with them. And then on top of that, like after I stopped competing after like 2 seasons, it was more so like I was essentially running every single team we had, like scheduling their matches, reporting their matches, hosting tryouts, and like finding captains and running a whole like leadership department under that. And so it was really just a case of like I missed competing, don't get me wrong. Like even when I quit, like watching our COD team compete my last like year while I was there during COVID, I was like, man, like I really want to play. Like I really want to play. And even now, being a director, like I watched the Val team play, and like I suck at Valorant, but like I'm like, man, like I would have grinded this if I was still in school until I could compete. And watching the God team still, like sometimes I get that itch, and then I realize how bad I am. But yeah, like it's definitely tough. I don't think there's a director right now that'll lie and tell you that they don't get the itch to still compete, just because like we're in this environment so much that at least those of us that competed at some point. There's some directors that haven't ever really competed like that, but those of us that have competed, I don't think there's a single director that'll tell you, I don't get the itch or the urge to try to pick up a game and actually compete again, for sure.
I think it's really weird that there's directors that have never competed.
Yeah,
I think that's a weird stance to take. It's like a tennis coach who'd never played tennis.
There's a good argument with this because, like, a big thing I've seen, because my main, like, intro into professional esports was mostly the Overwatch League. Like, I watched some Pro CSGO back in the day. But if you look into Pro Overwatch, like, a lot of the coaches, a lot of them don't, or from what I've seen, some of them like are peak diamond, maybe low masters, because like they don't have the skill set to like compete at that high level.
But they understand the game.
Yeah, but they have like full understand. So most of their time will go into like making sure they know what's going on, review like VOD reviewing, seeing stuff like that, and like helping, because they've got like that, I want to say it factor almost, that separates a coach from a player, where you're not the talented one, but you can see things that maybe that player wouldn't be able to see.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely people that are good analysts and like understand different esports and things like that just simply aren't good at the game. I think from a director standpoint, like my biggest worry is like directors that come from amateur and then try to get into collegiate when their amateur career goes down the toilet. Because I feel like then people come in and they try to treat collegiate like amateur, and then they don't put the students first in that aspect. And so that's what worries me. But I mean, directors that haven't competed before, it's like as long as you understand the game, like, or some games, because like as directors we don't understand every single esport, like we just don't, right? Like I cannot sit with our League of Legends team right now and be like, oh, you need to draft these champions because
this
is
a little,
like
it's a little different.
We had this argument last two where like Riley talked about how for casting League of Legends you have to be like a smart individual. It's like, no, you don't have to be smart, you have to be well knowledged about that game. Specific game.
Right, yeah.
Because smart in League of Legends.
Yeah, because there's games like CSGO and Valorant where like you can, like with a little research you could understand like the backbone basics, but then you swap over to like League or Dota and it's something like you throw out your textbook and go grab a completely different library of knowledge.
Right.
And then there's Halo and COD where you just scream.
Oh yeah,
and it works. So what's some stuff coming up at Ottawa that we want to talk about? Because I think we should do that.
We have our Unified event next weekend. That'll be quite literally the busiest weekend of this program's history, I guarantee you. So
it'd be nice getting a weekend off of work just to come do work I actually enjoy doing.
Yeah, so we'll be
no
hosting.
One from my job sees this.
This is the first like large scale esports event the program's had, right? Like with different schools showing up and everything.
We had I think it went online, but I know either last year or the year before we had what was the Otter Invitational, which was a big Call of Duty tournament we did. I know because if we scroll up in the Discord, we
The
made a graphic for it.
I do remember seeing that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was gonna go virtual though, and that's just kind of doesn't count.
I think we did end up doing that virtual, but like the original plan was we were planning for that to be a big LAN here at Ottawa, and then like obviously COVID and all that crap, so it just ended up being easier to go virtual.
Yeah, I think for us, like, this is the first large-scale esports event I think we'll have. I mean, like, at least...
In terms of bringing other players in.
For sure. I think, like, 6-7 different schools showing up and no telling what teams they're going to bring. Most of them, I assume, are just going to bring League, but they could bring their Valorant, they could bring their Rocket League, could bring Halo, you know, or wherever else. So that'll be super exciting. We're going to host a Smash tournament within the student body closer to April, so that'll be really cool. I think, you know, people always ask me, or I got asked a couple of days ago, like, you know, what do you think you've, like, fumbled the bag on when it comes to your job at Ottawa? And I think, for me, I think my worst thing that I haven't done so far is really try to get us more in tune with the student body. Mostly because you gamers don't want to get involved with the student body.
I've pitched ideas. It's just like scheduling and crap is so hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like I know for the past like year and a half since I really like took the role of like main content guy where I wasn't working every night. I've been pushing like, hey, let's do just like a local Smash tournament, get like $50 prize pool or something like that. And then like every time we try and schedule it, like I kind of get super busy again with other work and personal stuff, and then it just throw it out the window.
You see, the problem that we're having is that we're asking a bunch of basement builders to go out and touch grass.
Yeah.
And that's just not happening.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even like I want to, because like for us, it's hard for people to come into the arena and like just want to sit down and watch, like, because they just don't understand it, right? But I feel like if our presence was felt more on campus in terms of like going to football games or going to the basketball games together, just to show our presence, more people would be willing to like stick their foot out. So I definitely think we could do a better job of like, you know, opening our doors for the general student body and getting people involved, because it's intimidating, bro. Like I can't imagine like not knowing about esports and like walking past our doors and being like, yo. And be like, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm just going to keep walking.
The main issue I see with it is that esports is like such a different beast when it comes to sports, because you can be like a football player and go watch the men's or women's volleyball and be like, all right, I don't really get volleyball, but it's a sport.
Hey, go sports ball.
Yeah, you can go in and see it and be like, okay, I kind of get what's happening. Whereas with esports, it's like they play video games for money.
Yeah,
we're giving them money for that.
Yeah, right.
And it's just I think it comes with a negative stigmatism, especially at a college that wasn't founded with esports initially.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hard for this college, considering it was built before modern electricity. This building was built before modern electricity. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So
I wish I was kidding. That's true.
Well, I think we've got this sign out there that says like 1865 or something like that. This was like one of the OG.
This was
buildings.
the building. Yes. This was like the class building.
I wish, and I wish that wasn't the case. I mean, we're not alone in that. I don't think there's a lot of.
Oh yeah, it's so rare that a college starts with esports because it's such a now thing.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a lot of collegiate esports orgs that are like really in tune with their campus like that. But I would like for us to be more involved, like within our campus.
I wouldn't be shocked if we're not the only college having that issue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, and then the other thing I was going to touch on was I know you've at least been talking. Like I know the women's flag football team. Like we're pretty chill with at least I say that, but like I know. We've talked about potentially like planning some stuff with other teams and making like content to post to like the YouTube or just short Twitter clips.
Right.
And like that would definitely be something that we could look forward to, because I know when you start getting what am I trying to say? Getting into like touch with those people are the ones that kind of replace your esports people for going out and talking to other people about the program. And then like you get like the women's flag football team also going to like basketball and they're talking about like the esports guys, and then as you like slowly grow, it kind of like spreads like a virus. I guess that's a bad joke to make in 2020.
But I still stand by the idea that the number one way to draw a bunch of college kids into the arena is we provide free food.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Like we do that, we're saying like, hey, there's a game, come watch, also free food.
Smash tournament, order like 20 pizzas or something like that.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely start doing that for like, for instance, if
for
like,
the bigger stuff.
Right, like if our Rocket League team has a chance to make it to a world championship, right? Literally the first collegiate world championship ever. So like if that's the case, like
watch party.
There's no getting around us having a watch party in the arena for that.
At the absolute very least, we know we have the lacrosse team.
Yes.
The lacrosse team loves us.
They love us. Baseball is coming around too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know because baseball
some of the basketball's starting to like us too.
Really?
Baseball, we had a couple guys last semester who were helping with production stuff. I know that, and they were really
2 of them
chill.
are on the Halo team now.
They are?
Yeah, they're playing Halo.
Sweet.
So,
well, there you go. Now we're branching out slowly.
Yeah.
Just infect more people with the
I'm telling you, the esports team is a disease.
Yes.
Well, we always just steal and pull and take from all the other teams. That's
and
how
that's
we got me.
I think that's why a lot of the coaches don't like us. Like, I'm
Because
not
we're
gonna say
stealing
which coach on campus, but there's a particular coach that like hates me because like one of his players came to me and was like, "Hey, I want to transfer my scholarship over to esports because I'm not enjoying this particular sport," and like this coach hates me ever since because of that. And it's like, bro, like your program sucks. I'm sorry. Like no.
It's like if you really care that much about
right.
that one student, you try harder to.
If anything, that's a sign to
play.
improve.
Yeah. Exactly.
100%. And so, and I think realistically, you should care about the student, more so, right? At least they're staying at the university, right, and finding something that they're actually passionate about.
Paying a shit ton of money and dedicating pretty much all their time to being here.
Because
right.
I saw some of your Twitter beef the other day about talking about how students come first over the program, where obviously you want like your students to have their best chance to either go amateur, go pro.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're getting their degree doing what they want to do. And if that changes over the year, you shouldn't hold beef over them. Like,
Yeah, there's definitely, oh, so you saw the screenshot?
Yes.
Yeah, like, there's so many directors that are like, oh my God, you didn't choose my school, so forget you, like, you can go die in a hole or something. It's like, bro, like, you're a grown man or a grown woman, like, calm down. It's okay that they didn't choose your program. Like, you know how many players I've talked to that went somewhere else, like, that's okay, like, as long as you're getting your degree, like, I'm cool. And a lot of times, if you're, like, a good director, they will reach back out to you after a year. I've had, like, at least 6 or 7 kids reach back out to me this year, like, hey, like, I know I chose this school over you, but it's not looking too hot. So, like, what's the word? Can I still, like, earn a scholarship over there? So, like, it's not hard to be,
it's always better to keep yourself open for option B than be like, oh, you chose option A, knife in the back. Yeah.
Block, kick you from the Discord, you're out of here. See you later. You know, that's just weird.
I can't say names because I'll be crucified if I am. But it seems that, like, a lot of, like, college sports, not necessarily, well, yeah, I've seen it in esports. A lot of college sports head coaches never left college, if you get what I mean by that.
Oh, yeah, for
like,
sure.
They never became an adult at a job.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, there are some coaches here that I have had interactions with that is very clear.
Yeah. And I think, and what's crazy is, like, usually the younger esports directors, I don't see it out of as much as, like, some of these older directors, bro, are, like, they blow my mind. Like, oh, my God. Like, it's so bad.
It's just the boomer mentality.
Yeah, for sure.
Good Lord. This is also a baseless claim. I have not actually looked into this, but I believe part of the other reason the other sports don't like us, I think we're the highest earning sport right now on Ottawa. Highest earning.
Like,
as
in terms of...
Well, in literal, as in the amount of money we're bringing in, but also in terms of success.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I definitely think we're the most successful program. And what a lot of people don't understand in other sports is they're like, oh, well, they get more resources and things like that because we have the same scholarships as every other sport. Like, in fact, other sports have more full tuition scholarships than I have. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so to me, it's a case of, like, you're just, at that point, you're just angry at yourself. And really and truly, they have way better, like, ease of recruitment than I do, realistically, right? Like, how many kids are in Kansas that just want to play football and their parents are willing to just drop a bag, where just to see them play, period, versus, like, esports is not at that level yet. I don't have kids in Kansas that want to play esports in college. And
welcome to Kansas. Your options for a career
but I think that's the case.
Football or death in a ditch.
Right, but I think that's the case with, like, with any state.
Football, building windmills are death in a ditch. That's unfortunately.
But I think that's the case with most most states right now in terms of esports. It's just not there yet in a space where we have hundreds of potential people to come in and play for us. So
once it starts trickling down, I think that's going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
Because, like, a lot of times back in the old day, you didn't really see a whole lot of college esports anything because it wasn't a thing. And now it's starting. Now college esports is getting it's starting to cement its position, and then over time we're going to start seeing that come to high schools more. And I think once it comes to high schools, it'll be a lot easier because then you can just start ringing.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think, And that's sort of what we try to do with Ottawa High, right? Like, you see them, we let them come in on Thursdays and Fridays and use the arena. Like, I've tried to get them signed up for leagues so they can play their league matches in here. We can even showcase them sometimes on stream and things like that. So I definitely don't think collegiate is doing enough to help out with high school esports development. I think a lot of times, like, as directors, we get so caught up in, I have to hit this recruitment number, I have to win this championship, that we don't realize that, like, the more we interact with our high schools, like, that makes your job so much easier later on, because now esports is a direct pipeline from that high school to your, like, program. Like, because realistically, right, if we make the Ottawa high school esports team pop off, most of their parents are still going to want them to stay close to home, right? So if we offer those kids, like, they're going to come in. So
specifically Kansas, is cheaper to stay close to home.
100%.
State tuition in Kansas is crazy.
Yeah, 100%. So I definitely think that, it's a case of where we just have to start helping those high school esports programs develop, because realistically their administrations aren't really going to listen to the students at that age to do anything.
And esports in general is, like, such a volatile sport. You can look at, like, not that Rainbow Six is a small esport by any means, but, like, when it was, like, new, it was the thing.
Oh yeah,
like when Rainbow Six was huge, it was huge, and it was all you heard about. Yeah. But now it's backed off to the point where, like, I would almost call it like a low B tier.
Low B tier
esport, for sure, 100%.
Whereas you got, like, COD, Valorant, and League. Up in, like, the A's.
See, we talk about that, but also, like, R6, it's insane that it's that low, because, like, if you look into what actually goes into playing game, that's nuts.
You have to be on medication to play.
But a lot of times, though, that can be the barrier. I mean, you look at Rocket League now, even, like, CRL, they put the Collegiate Rocket League on, like, their main Rocket League channel, and some of these games are literally pulling, like, we're actually on the stream next week. This is the first time we'll ever be on, like, the official Rocket League stream as a program, but that's here and there, but like, they're pulling, like, 40,000 viewers every stream, like, period. And so I think a lot of times, esports can be complex, and that makes them, to me, like, better esports per se. But realistically, from, like, a marketing standpoint, it's way easier for me to market Rocket League to a new person esports versus Rainbow Six, because like, your mom, if I try to show your mom Rainbow Six, she's gonna be like, okay, what is this, right? But if I show Rocket League
soccer with
right, it's the easiest thing to understand. So I definitely think that sometimes simplicity in the esports is a little bit better from a marketing standpoint.
See, and games like Rocket League are always so fun in that marketing standpoint, because you look at it, it's got, like, such a low skill floor, but at the same time, the skill ceiling is insane.
Yeah,
like,
it's insane.
Seeing what, and, like, it's not even, there's just one specific. Like, you've got, like, the professionals, and then you've also got these freestylers that do fancy stuff in ones. Like, all of this, just watching, you can take that game in so many different directions and still be successful with it.
I was going to say a thing, and then I forgot it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I paused so you could say your thing, and then
I forgot what it was.
Oh, it's okay. It's only episode 2. We can work on it.
It's episode 3. We had our intro over Discord.
Yeah. That was a weird episode.
It was a weird episode. I still think Riley's episode was weirder because we didn't stay on topic for more than, like...
Why would we? We've stayed on topic in this episode more than any other episode so far, and I'm disappointed.
That's actually very true. Out of all the episodes I watched before I got here, it's very true.
We need to fix that. Let's talk about something else entirely. Can we talk about the Olympics?
Sure.
I have not watched any of
I was about to say, I literally did not even know the Winter Olympics were, like, coming on.
The big thing I saw was Shaun White officially retired this year. Which
I don't know who that is.
He was the big snowboarder.
Karen's house.
Crazy. He looked like, imagine Gavin with, like, long hair.
In red.
In red, yeah.
You didn't see any old pictures of Gavin, did you?
But he was, like, probably arguably one of the best snowboarders in the world.
Oh, yeah. Didn't the name of a video game up Shaun White Snowboarding? I could be wrong, but I thought
it's probably the equivalent to Tony Hawk's Skater or whatever they call those.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, he's like the Tony Hawk of snowboarding.
There's a big controversy right now with the Winter Olympics skating, and if you need to cut this, you can cut this.
I think I know what you're
talking
about.
Are you talking
about that the underage girl, or are you talking?
No, not that.
Okay.
So China's been naughty, because
isn't there a girl that wanted to represent China instead of the U.S. or something?
Oh, yeah, and then she got absolutely stomped.
Really?
Yes.
Like
she gave up her U.S. citizenship just to compete for China, and then got
absolutely, literally last place, I think.
Oh my god!
But that's not what I'm talking about.
There's
one
so
of
much
the,
crap going on this year.
What's the skating? What's the ice skating one where it's the
figure
it's like,
skating?
No, not figure
Speed
skating.
skating?
Speed skating. That's what I'm thinking of. Where it's the three of them. And
Yes.
They,
Okay.
yeah.
I think I know because
So
you said one.
in speed skating, one of the ways that they mark off where you're supposed to skate is they take hockey pucks and they mark out the turns that way. There's a clip of the Chinese competitor who is third behind Canada and then Sweden. I can't remember who's first. I think it's Canada. I can't remember. I might be wrong. You can see her as they're all leaning together into the turn. The Chinese competitor grabs the puck and throws it into the skates of the person in front of her, who then slows down and loses because of it. And China is currently removing every single video that's being posted about it and is doing everything in their power to make it not seen. And they had a ruling over it to whether or not it was cheating, and they said it wasn't cheating. They said there was no infraction made.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
And it was an illegal, what was it? An illegal Olympic level cheat is what it's been described as.
I don't even know where are they hosted this year. Where are they?
To Beijing.
Beijing.
Yeah, shocker, right?
See, the other one I thought
the communist regime is trying to silence people. Wow, that's weird.
The other one I thought you were going to talk about was the figure skating, where there was, I think she's 16-year-old from Russia, and she got caught in some like drug allegations about like
doping?
like performance enhancing.
That's Russia. Yep.
Yeah, but since she's 16, she's not of age. She can't get like fined.
She can't be tried as an adult.
So like they're all talking about how the coaches and all the adults around her should be charged for that, because obviously she's under. No one can really say if it was her choice or if she was under the influence of the adults supervising her. So
there's what was it?
To me, it's just crazy like how serious like all countries take like the Olympics. We act like it's the end of the world if we lose it. Like it's not like the countries are getting like exponential amounts of resources. Like everybody gets free food if your country wins like the Olympics and gets all their gold medals. You know what I mean? So like it's such a weird.
Let's throw some politicians into the Olympics and see where that goes, and then like
we get a football field and we just dig it out. We dig it out, and then we put a bunch of wild rabid animals in, and we throw all the politicians in, and we record it for charity.
And
rabid animals.
Not even charity, just whichever politician wins that fight, it goes towards that country's debt.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
We would lose to Russia on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
No, but you talked about Wii Sports, and this is something else I can discuss.
I was going to say we're going to get
into the Nintendo Direct. I watched that.
Yeah.
I was happy for a lot of things, but I was so upset because there were 3 things I wanted to see in that Direct that would have made me happy. Okay. It was either going to be more Breath of the Wild news, like some actual gameplay, because they've been holding on to that forever.
That's been years, bro. It's been like
but like they've confirmed it's supposed to come out like holiday season this year. Okay. So I could see them like doing a mid-year direct, or a delay. Yeah. I wanted to see possibly, this was a lot to ask for, but for a new Mario game, so either like Mario Galaxy 3 or Super Mario Odyssey 2.
When was the last time you had a Paper Mario?
It was for the Wii.
One after Sticker Star.
It was the Wii U. It was Color
No, there was one.
It was Color Splash.
Was that for the Wii? That was for the Wii U.
Wii U, yeah.
Okay.
No, I lied. There's the new one, because I've played it. It's Origami King on Switch.
Apparently that one's not very good. Apparently that one's all right.
It's okay. I've played through it. There was one moment that actually almost made me cry because it was really good storytelling. But like other than that, it was typical Paper Mario. Definitely better than Sticker Star or Color Splash, because don't get me started on those games. Those are like the worst Mario games to ever be made.
For our next charity event, we should just all do.
Okay, so do you know the basis of Color Splash or Sticker Star? Okay, so Sticker Star.
Here we go.
I'm gonna get in a tangent on this because they're the 2 worst. Sticker Star, all of your moves and items, you have to collect stickers throughout the world, and that's how you attack.
So you don't just start with anything.
You don't get like any moves or anything. You have to collect the stickers, and you use those to attack, so you can run out of attacks.
So think of the badge system in Thousand Year Door, but that's everything.
Yes.
Wow.
And then Color Splash, it's similar, but instead of stickers, you collect like paint splotches from different enemies. If you kill them, they give you like the RGB values or equivalent to like a score of that, and you have to collect that to use your moves.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Because the last one I played was the one on the Wii. It was like Super Paper Mario. Something like that.
It was the one where you had the different. It was 2D and then you could
swap.
swap.
That
one was cool.
I really like that game.
That was, in my opinion, probably the best one in the recent years. Mm-hmm. Because that one was
recent years. It was like 2007.
Yeah. Because the first one I played was on the 64.
That's 1,000 Year Door.
Yeah, 1,000 Year Door is by far.
Is that 1,000? No, I thought 1,000 Year Door was GameCube.
No, that's right.
N64 is Mario RPG, isn't it?
No, there was
Paper Mario.
Super Paper Mario, then Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door.
Yeah.
Are you Googling the list?
No, I don't care that much.
But arguably, or I don't even say arguably, 1,000 Year Door definitely best Paper Mario.
Good. For our next charity event, we should just do like
can we just
full
have
playthrough of one of
like
the
all
Mario
the Mario games? Yeah, just get the whole lineup and have it set up.
Not the whole line. Jesus, that is like 30 hours of content.
We can have a themed charity stream next year and just do it to where it's like all retro games.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
Do a speed run where we get everyone to like learn the speed run for one game. It doesn't have to be good. I'm not speed
running a game.
The
only game I can speed run is not retro.
It'd be easy too because
it doesn't have to be retro.
One of my favorite Switch things now is the
the Super Mario.
Yeah, like
that. I thought you were gonna talk about the Super Mario All Stars.
No, it's the NES and the SNES online thing where you can play all the.
Yeah.
So we're getting into that, by the way, because we were talking about the Nintendo Direct. I have my Direct notes open.
I wasn't even done with my. I was gonna say there was one other thing besides Mario or Zelda. The other thing I wanted was confirmation for Pikmin 4 because they've already said they're making it, but I wanted some news because I'm addicted to the Pikmin.
I've never played a Pikmin.
I know it's not for everyone because it's like an RTS and you have to like manage stuff to survive, but it's so like especially the third one. The second one's pretty good. It's a little Okay, so I keep getting on tangents on game. The first one is definitely for select audience because you're limited to, I believe, 30 days, and you have to like manage the Pikmin, and you have to collect. I think out of the 5 areas in the world, there's 30 of your rocket ship parts because the whole idea is you crash landed, your rockets spread everywhere, and you have to manage your Pikmin. And I think you have to get like 25 of the 30. It's the set time with 30. With Pikmin 2, it was kind of similar, except there wasn't the time limit of death. You just had to go through, and the whole idea was you went into these dungeons, which were below the world, and the whole idea, instead of like saving yourself, is you're saving the company you work for, and you're collecting all these foreign debris and like getting money to pay it back. And so that was Pikmin 2. And then Pikmin 3 was the one I loved by far because it took Pikmin 1 and put the time in your own hands. Because the idea of Pikmin 3 was you were collecting food to keep your planet back home alive. But the more food you collected, the more rations you had for yourself. So you kind of controlled how long you could stay on the abandoned planet or whatever they call it.
And this has been Hayden's comprehensive history of
Bro,
Pikmin.
I'm a Nintendo.
I never got the urge to play Pikmin because Olimar looks like such a lame character.
Hey, to be
Olimar's a Giga Chad.
He looks so lame compared to the other characters.
But he's like,
isn't Olimar busted in Ultimate?
There's pros that rock Olimar.
Really?
Yes. It's fun to watch because he's so annoying because you can get the fire Pikmin, damage over time, the yellow Pikmin just flies high, but all of them just stick onto you and just whack, whack, whack.
It's just constant damage.
It's just... Oh.
I just had an idea for a new series that might be entertaining.
I'm interested.
We forced Sergio to play some game he's never played before for like an hour or two and then edit it into the best bits.
I will play some Nintendo games.
I think that would be...
Usually
I would bring my
Nintendo
Switch
games I can do.
Like, yeah. Nintendo is like I've been a Nintendo kid until I got into PC gaming. Like I started on PlayStation, but then my first like real console was a Nintendo DS, and from there I've always just been a Nintendo kid.
I would argue Nintendo has probably some like the most iconic characters in gaming. I mean, obviously, it sounds like Mario.
This was another discussion we had on the console talk on the last episode. Was you've got Xbox and PlayStation, or Microsoft and Sony are in their constant battle.
They're butting heads.
Yeah,
Nintendo's over there just doing whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, Nintendo's the awkward cousin in the family reunion that we all love, but no one wants to mess with him.
But see, I think that shifted because when I was younger, like before G4 made their return, like G4 used to be like the channel for like video game stuff, right? You had E3 every year, and you had Microsoft and Sony had their press conferences. People forget because now they do Nintendo Directs and stuff instead. But at one point, Nintendo had their huge stage just like those two. Like E3 was literally like it was between those three, and Nintendo used to be able to compete, and then at some point Nintendo just like died. And
yeah, Sakurai doing the Splatoon pose.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, like, you say died, but if you like tune into one of their directs online, they're still pulling like hundreds of thousands of viewers per direct, which obviously isn't as crazy as going to like one of the E3s where you're gonna pull some of the non-Nintendo people like Sony or Xbox, because when you're doing just the strictly online directs, you've gotta like somehow get those other people to know you're doing those, and then they don't necessarily want to watch.
It's a genius move for Nintendo to separate like that, because A, they don't need the exposure. It's Nintendo, and B, the people that are watching that kind of content, like if they're the type of people to watch like E3 and stuff like that, and then see Nintendo's stuff, they won't be swayed by Nintendo if they weren't already.
Yeah. I think so.
It's like whatever, span off, do your own thing, and then you don't waste everyone's time.
I would like to see them come back and do it though. I think because when they got their press conference taken away, bro, I remember there was a time where Nintendo was going bankrupt. Like when the Wii U era was like happening.
We don't talk about the Wii.
Bro,
in all honesty, the Wii U should have been an extension to the Wii, not its own separate console. They should have.
I will die on this hill. The Wii U was a good console screwed over by bad support.
I don't know, man.
I like the idea, but like I said, I don't think there was anything they couldn't do with like, hey, buy the gamepad and this disc that updates your Wii to a Wii U to make it compatible with the because obviously back then, I mean, PlayStation 3 and Xbox were out for a while, so yeah, you probably could have done online updates, but I know the Wii specifically, Nintendo didn't really have their shop built for like system software updates. The Wii was more itself just like a local, hey, party with your friends for a little bit.
The Wii was a home entertainment console.
Exactly.
Yeah, it wasn't a video game console.
Exactly. 100%. But so like for the Wii U to have been successful, I feel like you could have sent that tablet like $100 extension that comes with the extra disc, hook it up to your Wii, and then like you've got like a new console, but it's the same thing.
Here's the problem with doing that. Look at all the Wii games that came out that essentially did the same thing, where they had like their own dedicated peripheral.
Well, but
and just look how awful their sales.
But
were.
with this, instead of just having that peripheral for this specific game, you market it as if this is the new console, like Wii U, but you're not charging them the full $350 for basically a Wii plus a fancy new controller.
The other problem, though, is that the Wii was so old by the time the Wii U came out, there's no way it could have supported it.
That's true.
I think how the Wii U would have succeeded, and you can actually look into this, is if they offered more support. Because the issue is that Nintendo is like, we're doing the Wii U now, and game developers are like, well, shit, how do we make games for this thing?
Yeah.
It was
very
abrupt.
Very new for the time, because
there was very little developer time before the launch.
We got Mario Maker out of it though, which is a very
the other game. I know they can't do it for Switch because I've seen discussion, but the other game I'd really love to see if they could somehow recreate in any way with like, even if they use like their new, how they have mobile systems.
Don't say Zombie U.
No. Nintendo.
I wish that game was good.
Nintendo Land. Nintendo Land was.
I don't remember that one.
Nintendo Land was so good.
It was the one where it was basically like a Nintendo party game where you had like different adventures, like Legend of Zelda, stuff like that, and you could have your 4 players on the main screen with their Wii remotes and nunchucks, but then the tablet itself had its own separate like view. And because of this, they got because this was the official Nintendo title where they knew what they were doing with the gamepad. They took it and they ran with it, and they made stuff that actually worked.
It was so good.
But other than that, since Nintendo was the only one who could really optimize for their Wii U, you can't rely solely on Nintendo to pump out great games for the console, and that's why it really failed.
Yeah. But I do think, like I said, like that era was rough, and I could see why they got their press conference taken away. But now, I think in this Switch era, I think, like you said, the audience is there for them to have a big conference again. I genuinely think they could. Now, if they fumbled that first conference back, it could be bad. It could be very bad.
Nintendo could into my firmly cupped hands, and fans would go wild. At this point, I don't think there's anything wrong Nintendo could do.
I think the Switch was a good bounce back. And
you say nothing wrong.
We're canceling Metroid forever.
No, it's not that. The nothing wrong I want to say is Nintendo, just stop with the mobile crap. It's not working. Mario Kart Tour, I don't know if you saw it. There's a meme going around because you saw Nintendo Direct, one of the big things was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is getting new. It's getting the new pass, like Smash did with like the fighter pass. But it's $25 for
courses.
Yes.
120 courses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did see that.
But so the meme going around is to unlock Diddy Kong on Nintendo 2 or their mobile game, you have to buy a pack which costs $50. It comes with like in-game currency and Diddy Kong, but that's the only way you can get him. That costs $50. For 120 new maps, it costs $25. That's how you know you're doing your mobile gaming wrong.
Nintendo needs to realize that all they have to do is they have to follow the model that everyone else is doing for mobile games and then improve upon it. Mm-hmm. Make a game that is free to play, that you essentially have the whole game just by downloading it for free, right? And then I don't agree with this. I think it's awful, but it's what everyone does and it's successful. Microtransaction the hell out of it.
That's what they're trying to do with Mario Kart Tour, but
yeah,
they're
but it's bad and they're doing it wrong.
Everything. Yes.
Yeah. Like the Mario run was like fantastic.
See, I
think that was
game,
fantastic. You get like 5 levels,
and
then that's it. I think if the entire game was free and then it was like
I think you have
DLC.
I wouldn't even say DLC. I say you have a certain amount of lives you can do, like Candy Crush.
Yeah, I have like a daily life.
Every time you die, you have to wait like an hour or an hour or 2 hours to get your life back, and then like you can pay to get more because obviously you're gonna have kids who don't want to wait and they'll just keep funneling their mommy's credit card into. So what else did you have to talk about the Nintendo Direct?
So that's what I was saying is that I took a bunch of notes before this on just video game news because I figured I'll be professional this time.
Yeah.
I got 5. So one of them was Nintendo Direct. So thank you for stealing a bunch of my content.
No, like I could have talked for a good another hour about the Nintendo Direct because there was a lot I liked and a lot I didn't like.
I'll leave it at this. I think the hypest I got was for Mario Strikers. I've been waiting.
Okay.
I
was pretty hyped, but that also really upset me because I'm a Sluggers guy. I wanted the Sluggers so bad, and I saw the stadium forming, and I was like, it's a new Mario sports game, and then it formed into talking about, no, this is still hype though, but no.
But I think it could be a good liaison for that because I think for a while Nintendo didn't think people were into those games as much as we were, and so now I think with the reaction of
they brought back Mario Golf and it was wild.
And
tennis, right? And so
Mario Tennis was kind of rough. Like some people enjoyed it, but like it was basically the
same. It was their first entry back into a sports game.
Yeah, it was the same. It was the same tennis game. Mario Golf, they added the new Super Rush mode, which is insanely fun. And then Strikers, I think they're adding something different. I don't remember because they showed a lot, but I don't entirely remember. But I know you can customize like your armor and that's your different stats. But I wouldn't be surprised if they had like a special party mode that stuck it out from the old Strikers.
Right.
The first Mario Strikers on the Wii, right?
I think it was GameCube.
Was it GameCube?
I think it was GameCube.
Pretty sure it was GameCube ported to Wii at one point.
Mm-hmm. The people who say Mario Strikers was the best game that they ever played are the people who punch holes in their drywall.
Punch walls in their drywall.
I'm trying my hardest. So anyway, with the rest of the Direct news, we already got through my first 2 bullet points on Direct, Mario Strikers and Wii Sports.
ZZZZ.
I don't care, it's Fire Emblem.
ZZZZ.
It's only the news I was interested in.
We could discuss a little more on the Wii Sports because that's actually really hype.
I didn't watch any of the Direct.
It was so they brought back a bunch of classics and they discussed how golf was going to come later. So that makes me wonder if we get more future DLC and push more into like the Wii Sports Resort because with the Joy-Con
they already had some of this like the not jousting. What do they call that? That's Wii Sports
Fencing.
Resort.
Yeah, they had a weird name for it.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But it's
the sword fighting.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you look back at Wii Sports Resort, they had like probably 20+ games.
Wii Sports
on
Resort
that.
was so good.
Yes,
it was huge.
But like I could definitely see them milking Wii Sports, the new Wii Sports for Switch. I don't want them to if it's all paid, but I know the golf they said was going to be free with the game. But like you could definitely milk it out. It might take time to program, but you can milk it out over the next year or 2 and just keep releasing new games.
There's so many sports.
Exactly.
Just charge like $5-10 a sport once you add them, and I think that's fine.
Or make like
sport?
the fighter pass.
Don't make a pass for that. I think that's dumb.
I don't think you charge $5 or $10 per sport. I think you put like 5 in a pack.
Yeah,
that might be $15.
But like, because I know in Wii Sports.
But yet again, it's Nintendo. They can get away with whatever they want. So they're going to do
in Wii Sports Resort, we had like archery, we had like disc throwing, we had like I think paragliding was one. There were so many.
There was the skydiving, and then there was
cycling. There were so many in that game that you could bring back with the Switch.
Plain adventure exploration.
Yeah, archery was another another one, but like just with how the Switch is built with the motion controls, it would be kind of hard porting for like Switch Lite because I know you've got to focus more on the Pro controller. Mm-hmm. But like for the people with just Switch, you've basically got 2 Joy-Cons that are 2 Wii remotes, so you could bring some of those handheld games back.
Well, most of those wouldn't be an issue because the Switch Lite still does the gyroscope on its own, doesn't it?
Really? I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure it does. I'd be shocked if it didn't, because a lot of games wouldn't work on the Switch.
Because I know they had to rebuild Skyward Sword's motion controls.
I do remember that. I thought that was just because they were super
but that's
clunky,
Skyward
though.
Sword. No one cares about that.
I thought it was just super clunky.
That might do.
I'm gonna get destroyed for that one.
I don't hate Skyward Sword. I'm not much of a Zelda fan. I'm still playing through Breath of the Wild. I've had it for like 6 months. I haven't beaten it yet just because I don't have any time.
You want to know what I could say that's really going to get Zelda fans pissed at me? I only like Breath of the Wild and Wind Waker.
Okay,
that'll get me drawn and quartered.
If you had to rank the rest of them, where would they be? All just bottom tier?
Breath of the Wild, Wind Waker, and then the rest of them.
Okay. So you know any of the other titles?
Majora's Mask.
Okay.
Skyward Sword.
Okay.
The one that wasn't Majora's Mask.
Okay.
Twilight Princess. That's
there. You go.
Oh yeah.
And then 1 and 2, and then the CDI games, which shall not be named.
You're still missing a big one. Though.
I'm sure I am, because I don't care.
The biggest, like, Legend of Zelda game of all time. Ocarina of Time.
Who cares?
So that's a trope, back to what you were saying earlier, that I hate in gaming. Like, when you create a game that has all this content, right? So we talked about how Wii Sports Resort had, like, 20-plus games, or 20-plus, like, sports you could play. And now we get to the Switch version, we have what, like 8,
6,
and it's like how do you manage to go backwards? That's what I hate about like fighting games, right? Like you look at like Mortal Kombat Armageddon, right? And like now you look at Mortal Kombat games today. Armageddon had a massive roster, and how do we get more technology and now we have less fighters?
I can tell you exactly why. It's because everyone's adopting the business model of, well, let's just put this small little handful of stuff into the game at launch. Charge full price or more for it
and then
launch.
DLC.
And then DLC out the ass.
Yeah, I really wish that trope. That's one of
the credit card ruined gaming.
That's one of my least favorite like gaming tropes right now. I hate that so much.
Me and Lucas can also agree. Second least favorite trope is battle royales. We're done. We talked about this.
Yeah. Okay. Here's my thing. If you're gonna do a battle royale, do something interesting with it. Like Hunt Showdown is fantastic. Hunt Showdown is
Fortnite was okay at first because like the building.
Fortnite designed the genre.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like Fortnite did something different. Because, like, you had PUBG. I'm trying to remember what all came before. PUBG, H1Z1 were out before. Those were all your basic, just looter-shooter battle royales. Fortnite's like, here's this completely new concept.
And I hate it.
Yeah. I never liked it. But obviously, it's there for the select people who do like it.
Oh, yeah.
But, like,
basement dwellers.
And then Apex Legends also, I talk about, a lot of people hate on Apex, but Apex Legends took the battle royale and shifted over to more like the
hero-based shooter.
Yeah.
Which I think is fun. I think that works. If you're gonna go through the trouble of creating a battle royale and making yourself look like a fool, be unique with it.
Exactly.
Like, especially if you already have an IP. I think if you already have an IP and adopting it to a battle royale is a really good way of doing it. Because Forza added a battle royale.
But like that's like,
and it's so much fun.
It's the craziest thing. Like no one, when you look at like games like Forza, you're like, there's no way they can add a battle royale.
The Eliminator is the craziest thing.
Then they do it, and it's like everyone gets hyped about it.
I have never been more angry in modern video gaming than the Eliminator. I need to show this to you.
Yeah,
I want to kill people. I want to kill people.
In game, not in real life.
Me driving my multi-million-dollar Lamborghini hypercar through the woods at Mach 4 and slamming into a tree, and then I lose the race.
I think most of the battle royale games that come out, like they try to be different. Some of them just don't stick. Like I mean, you look at like Hyperscape. I think like did Amazon try to do Hyperscape?
What was the one that was like Horizon Sunshine or something like that? I don't know. They did a bunch of brand deals.
There's been so many. It's hard to keep track.
I remember like Hyperscape. There's a new one that has like vampires that looks kind of cool. I can't think of what it's called, but and then the most slept on one that I love so much. There was I think it's still free on Steam to this day. It's called Darwin Project. And Darwin Project.
Onward's awesome. That was one of those where I could. Like, I tried it once, I loved it, but, like, it felt like one of those party-like games where you should get, like, a squad.
Yeah,
and, like, the squad would make it so much better. But if I remember right, it's your classic battle royale, but you get the game master. If I remember
right, yeah, one person can be the game master.
You get the game master, and the game master can drop items for people.
Yes.
And they had like the 9. I think it was like an 8 zone or 7. I don't remember.
Like a honeycomb type.
Yeah,
thing.
like a hex zone, and the game master could be like, all right, this zone closes, this zone closes. You get this item. But like that was something.
It was so good.
I've never seen this game. It sounds like it plays like Civ.
I'm telling you, you will love it. If you go on Steam today,
does it play like Civ? And the fact that it is that perspective where you're dealing with hexagons.
But that's just the game master. Everyone else is playing like a normal battle
royale. I was gonna say, I'm gonna hate the game
like
master.
Everyone else has to like craft materials. They gather stuff. Because it also added like some crafting aspects, like normal current Fortnite has.
You can build armor. You can build like things to stay warm because if you freeze to death, you die.
Mm-hmm. What's the battle royale we played on the charity stream when we were
Tab G?
Tab G, best battle royale.
Yes. Because
have you ever played Tab G?
The only time I saw it was during the 24 hours.
Again, that's another one that took its brand of total accurate.
Let's just make it as stupid as possible, and then it's the best battle royale I've ever played in my life, and it has 30 concurrent players at a time.
Because I followed the developers of that game on socials, and the whole idea of it was that game was built as an April Fool's joke, which is why it's so good because they don't care. And like, unfortunately, I heard on a recent post that they're like not support. They're gonna keep servers up, but they're not gonna update it or keep support out for it just because like it can't.
There need to be a lot of major to do it. Yeah.
But
that's how it goes.
But like, it's just one of those games where it's so far of a pitch out of left field, it works because it pulls to its audience, which is the people who really don't care and just want to have a fun time with friends.
How much do you know about Tab G, just in general, aside from what you saw?
Like I said, I know nothing.
So
let me explain to you.
Total Accurate Battle Simulator. It's like this, not stick figures, but like the red and blue people where you build like armies out of them and they fight a war.
Oh, okay.
So imagine that, but they took those characters and threw them into a battle royale.
Well, here's a way of explaining it. Imagine you're playing a battle royale, right? And you find a gun that you're like, this gun is obviously going to be fantastic. It's an M4. It's the standard. Like, it is the gold standard. I've got a sight. I've got a suppressor. I've got a grip. I've got all this stuff. Worst gun in the game.
Really?
The best guns in that game are the stupidest guns. A single shot muzzleloader blunderbuss absolutely demolishes.
Have you ever heard of a Glockinator?
What in the world?
It's
Imagine two Glocks
attached sideways like
with
this,
the scope on top of it.
With
You
a
hold
little
it,
red
and it's
dot.
like a machine gun.
You hold it like motorbike handles.
But so that was another thing about like going back to like Darwin Project. Like they had the Twitch integration too,
Exactly,
which was so dope. Like no other BR was doing that. Where like
More games need Twitch integration.
They do so you could like do it to where like if I was streaming on my personal channel and I was a player. My viewers could like help me out and things like that, or they could make me try to lose. Or the best kind was the game master could be like it's viewers' choice. So like if they could choose who to punish, they could choose who to give extra extra material to.
It was such a creative game.
Such a good game.
It's just so sad that like it never
took off, and it was free.
Exactly,
it's
free,
still free.
And it never took off.
I think a lot of stuff that kills games is that they make it free, and then people are like, "Oh, it's free. How good can it be?" I think price. I think as much as it's like a negative thing, I think price impacts your perception of a game. Because like I see a game and like I'm scrolling through the Steam store and I'm like I see a game and it's like it's free and it's like it's got very positive reviews and it's some whatever and I'm looking at it and I'm like, but it's free, so like what effort is put into it?
That's definitely my philosophy on like when I scroll through.
That's obviously the wrong
horror
philosophy.
games. Yeah, like when I look and see like horror games, right? It's like, oh, it's free. Oh no, I know this can't be good. It's like one cheap jump scare.
Were you supposed to play FNAF on stream, by the way?
Did you ever drop to?
What was that?
I did.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, I did.
Because he was doing.
You want to try it out in VR?
No.
We were playing Valorant. Me and Riley were watching.
Yeah.
And we were on the Ottawa Twitch account watching and commenting. And it was some like subscription goal.
No, it was. I was pretty sure you said if I drop to silver, I'm playing FNAF.
That's it. That was it.
Yeah,
it was
I ended up playing it and immediately regretted it. I forgot how scary the original was.
There's more content. We make him play FNAF VR.
The original's not the worst, honestly.
Oh, the
original
FNAF game's the best
sister
FNAF game.
location.
No, like
sister location. I think that one was terrible.
That one. Pretty. If you've ever played not Ultimate Custom Night, what's the other Pizzeria Simulator? Because you basically control like you control how, like, what bad guys come in and all this. But on the top, it just looks like a kind of sim-like game where you're buying stuff, you're trying to make sure you make ends meet. But
so here we go into the FNAF tangent because I will be able to include in this.
I don't think we want to go that long.
Too late.
Yeah, but you essentially you have like your pizzeria and you're running it. But on the back, the decisions you make in that like tycoon game affects how the horror game plays out. So like you can get money by salvaging the animatronics, which are like
the animatronics that you find in the back alley.
Okay. But if you take those in, then they'll be hunting you at night. So you have to play around that. But
they you get also, a shit ton of money.
You get a lot of money, and also you get better endings depending on how many. Because obviously the whole idea of FNAF is like it's got its lore, so you have to get the endings. But like,
which is so crazy. Like I can't imagine like making a game so simplistic as the first one, and then having people go and like create this whole like world around it. To the point where
you want to know my favorite one that there's no shot we get you to play, but I think it would be hilarious to see you on stream. It's called The Joy of Creation.
It's literally TJ. It's like it's an acronym, right? Like they don't
TGAC.
Yeah, I'm not playing that one. I watched them on
that one
mortifying.
It's amazing though. It's
so good.
It's a fan game. That's insane. That's what insane.
It's very good, but I'm never playing that.
But like it's like the fan game. It's like something that you could put down like the actual creator would make, and you'd still be impressed because he took that world, made like his own lore inside of it, and then also the gameplay. Every level is different, so it's not stagnant at all, and it's insane what he did, because I was watching videos on it the other night, and like, damn.
I think the only thing they could do now, and I think this is a genre in general, I have never had as much fun gaming as I have lately playing co-op horror games. Oh my god, I wish more people would like
Can we throw you in Phasmophobia VR?
God, I don't care about that game.
See, Phasmophobia.
I feel Phasmophobia is not scary.
It got old. But him in VR, I feel like we could get his anxiety.
I think there's scary elements to it, but for me, like, this is kind of contradictory because I say I hate jump scares, but I love cheap jump scares because that's what gets me a lot of times. And I feel like Phasmo doesn't have those moments that like you'll be playing with somebody and somebody goes, oh, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't happen.
I have the exact opposite opinion of you. I think jump scares are the worst and cheapest form of
horror.
Really? I think the best way to make a good horror game is to just be scary by not scaring the player.
Right, but I think
that's where I say play Phas in VR because you psych yourself out
like
so
the sounds
much.
and stuff. Yeah, and I think that there's good jump scares and like I agree with you. There's definitely cheap ones where it's like that's literally the entire game is like jump scares, right? But I think that there's people that can do it right and build one up. Like so, like when PT was out, right?
Well, yeah.
The PT jump scare was like insane, but like you're right. The ambience to it was what was really scary. Like I genuinely like did not want to walk down that hallway every single time I went through. And when the red light came on and it was going red, I exited out. I was like, bro, I'm not playing this anymore.
So to tie it back into FNAF, that's why I think like the first FNAF game is like one. This is going to be controversial as well. I think the first FNAF game is one of the best horror games ever made.
I think
because it does it perfectly. It tells you nothing.
There have been so many good arguments about this, where just the idea of you take essentially 98% of the player's controls away, and you just have them sit there and accept their fate, like they control. That makes it so much worse compared to, oh, I see like Jason over in that corner, run that way, but like you're just stuck there and like. That kind of horror is really cool.
I wish there was one of the last things I did at Ole Miss. We did an extra live stream, and they made me play because I never played the first Five Nights at Freddy's. I wish I could find a clip of it, but there's literally a clip of me, and I've never been this scared in my life, y'all. Like the fox and how he like sprints down the hallway.
It's the scariest thing.
I literally, bro. I was like, what is going on? I was looking at the camera, and I saw him. I literally threw the mouse against the wall. I've never been that scared in my life.
So I'm going to spoil it because in the VR version, there's a little, I say Easter egg, but it's kind of like how they prevent this. So because you can like move around inside the office. But if you, in VR, peek out at the office, he sprints at you.
Bro, see, no.
It's not if you peek out. It's if you step fully out.
Oh, yeah.
See, no.
And you start, like, staying out there too long. Then he comes. And the best part is, it's a dark hallway. You can't see the end of it. But all of a sudden, there's an 8-foot fox sprinting towards you.
That might be the most memorable jump scare, like, I can think of out of any horror game I've ever played. Like, that, literally, I was sitting still for, like, a whole 2 minutes, like, just shivering because I was so scared. I did not like that.
But like I was saying, like the perfect way to be scary, and this is like everything. This isn't just like video games. This is movies. This is writing. Is you have two options for your monster, and you really can't do the middle. You either have to tell them absolutely nothing about your monster, or they have to be in view at all times. Which is why I think FNAF is amazing. Is that they're coming for you. You don't really know why they're coming for you. There's no motive that they're giving, but you know they're there, and you know they're coming. And there's nothing you can do except just prevent it.
I think the horror genre is in a weird place. I think horror games, like, progressively have gotten better, right? Like, I know, like, Outlast, right, was a big game changer. That showed people that, like, we can make a very well fleshed out.
Outlast, fantastic.
Absolutely amazing.
It's like a mini movie.
Yeah,
game.
So good.
Fun fact, the new one's going to be 4-player co-op.
Oh,
the Outlast Trials. It's going to be good. I'm telling you, it's going to be good.
I hate horror games, but I'll run
but
it.
Like,
I'll do it.
But at the same time, while I feel like horror games have gotten better, horror movies, I feel like have, like, completely...
Oh, they've been awful.
Yeah, I talked about this to one of my friends the other day. Like, I feel like we don't have, like, our generation doesn't have, like, horror, like, icons. Like how Freddy Krueger and, like, Michael Myers, like, we don't have that. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's no, like, there's literally not a single slasher character that was made in our generation that people, like, are going to look at years from now and be like, wow, that was like, a great horror, like...
See, I step out of this because I'm not in the horror
You don't like horror movies?
No. I don't like horror movies, but I like horror movies. I don't like watching horror movies.
Yeah, I cannot watch horror movies.
I think the problem is that, like, I think the whole embodiment of, like, a slasher antagonist is kind of not shunned, but, like, it's almost gone.
I think because
like you watch, like, the old Jason movies or the old Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Those are gory movies. Those are
for sure.
Disgustingly.
Yeah.
And just in general, with, like, the scary genre, what's the Thing? If you've ever seen The Thing. That movie, good God.
Yeah.
Like, it hurts to watch.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just almost gone.
I think our generation also sees, like, slasher movies as, like, corny, too.
Yeah. And there's
like
definitely a good way of doing that.
Right. The typical people running around and tripping and, like, getting chased by, like, I think a lot of people think of that as corny, and I think there hasn't been a studio or a director yet that said, let me reinvent the slasher genre to, like, a modern-day perspective and, like, do it correctly. Because like, even the new, like, Halloween movies are terrible.
See, I feel like if you can find, we just have to wait for that one director who finds, or that one story writer who finds, like, the new, what you'd call a meta in horror stories, where this is, like, the shtick where you write something around this kind of, like, plot, but, like, create your own character. And once that happens, I feel like that's when we start developing the new horror genre.
I think that with modern media, like, especially video games, with, like, the emphasis on first person being, like, the best way to project into the video game, I don't think horror movies are ever going to do as well as they did. Just because, like, it's hard to project yourself into the situation when you're watching these characters.
I think that's why people try to do, like, the camera, the camera.
What's that called? It has a name.
Paranormal Activity?
Well, yeah, that's
but like the genre?
The Witch, what's it called? Something with Witch. Salem Witch, Blair Witch.
Yeah, that's another movie.
The game.
But there's a specific that's a specific genre.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name.
I think a very good way to do a horror movie nowadays would be analog horror. If you've ever, do you know what analog horror is? You've never seen, like, the Walton Files or Channel 53, something like that. It's these series on YouTube where it is the method of the horror is analog, so it's like tapes or like or something. So it's like this found footage idea.
So kind of like you ever seen Sinister? Sinister had like an aspect of that too, where like I think Ethan Hawke was the main actor in that movie. He was going through and watching the tapes, and if you watch that movie, the scariest parts of that movie, they have like this eerie like music in the background, or like it's like retro tapes. Those are easily the creepiest parts of that movie. So I can see that.
There's one that I'll tell you about that I'll get you to watch, and I think it'll be some of the scariest shit you've ever seen.
Really?
Like they never show their big bad. Like. Well, I mean, they kind of do, but they never show like their big bad. Yeah. They show like the scary elements of like what comes of it, but they never show their monster, and it is some of the scariest shit I've seen in my life. Also, I was going to tie it back into Five Nights at Freddy's again. So you know how Five Nights at Freddy's is getting a movie, right?
Yes.
That's still
I didn't know that.
Really? Yeah, that's been
that was announced in 2016.
Yes. But we have like
I guess that was only the next logical.
So I did some research.
Official like news on it, but it's
there is.
They've confirmed
it's live action.
Yes.
Do we know who the actors are?
Nope. So here's the problem, right? They started writing in 2016. The original directors they're working directly with Scott Cawthon, which is I think good.
Okay.
Like Scott Cawthon has not even like secondary influence. Like he is one
literally,
of the writers.
He's literally the creator of the franchise, which is insane when you look at that franchise how much they've done to like. Yeah.
The script has been rewritten 7 times at this point.
Oh god.
Which is a lot for a movie.
I'd much rather have that though than them trying to force something really awful. Because like a discussion I've had with a couple like other like they're not diehard fans but like people who understand, and we've talked about this movie, is you don't really for the movie I don't feel like it would sell very well if you're just remaking a movie about like the original game or any of the games. I feel like you have to take this movie and kind of advance on the lore a little bit and kind of build it from like the side.
I don't think they will, only because if they do one and it does well, they want to leave room for the lore to come after.
Well, yeah. Here's the problem though, is that like, not Ultimate Custom Night, the other one, Pizzeria Simulator. That was like the perfect end of the story. Which, if you've never seen, you probably haven't seen the ending of Pizzeria Simulator. You should go watch a playthrough of Pizzeria Simulator. It's so good. Literally, like the ending of Pizzeria Simulator is in my list of top 10 best endings of video games.
Yes,
it is bone chilling and amazing.
The only reason I think they're milking the franchise.
Oh yeah,
and
of course.
two, the reason he can get away with this is because he's tying in like so many fans are out there creating theories
their own lore.
That
I like this one.
They can't be like confirmed or denied. So it's like, all right, let's take this.
Granted, there wasn't really a great way for him to do it because like. I don't know. Do you know the story of FNAF and why it exists? Because it's a funny story. So Scott Cawthon was originally a Christian game developer. He made Christian
I didn't even know that was a genre.
What was the first game that he was?
It was something with a beaver.
It was like Bucky's Playtime or something like
that. Because he started designing for his child. That's originally where he got his
he was making games that he was like he wanted to make fun Christian inspired games.
Like so Christian games or like.
Christian inspired, not
like
Christian
because he never originally like sold them to people. It's more for, hey, I'm building this game, give it to my child. He plays with it
because it's family friendly.
Exactly.
Okay. And so he has this character that's like a beaver, and he does release it online at some point. I think he did, and he gets feedback, and people are like, that beaver is terrifying. It looks like a scary robot you'd see at Chuck E. Cheese. And this got Scott so mad that he was like, you want to see scary? I can make some scary animal robots. And then he made the first game.
It's such a cool
He did it purely out of spite.
And
he was like, well, I've got to make something with this now.
You go from making Christian games to
you're the only person I'm going to have to censor this episode.
We're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. I hate Matt Pat, and I'm passionate about it.
I've been mentally counting. That's like 6 or 7 just from you.
Good. I think I think when it comes to like it's crazy how you just told me he went from making Christian games to making something that literally has like demonic lore tied into it now. That's crazy.
It's canon that they stuff dead children inside of robots. Yes,
really.
It's also
written
canon that the main villain just refuses to die.
That's the stupidest plot line ever. I hope you know that.
He keeps reviving him just because he needs the villain to continue the story to fill the plot holes.
Pizzeria Simulator should have been the end.
Yes.
The new game, whatever it's called, I forget.
Security Breach.
Security Breach should have been a different story entirely.
I'll tell you what.
Security Breach does do a pretty good job at wrapping up loose ends, though.
No, it doesn't.
If you look at
it is a very open-ended.
Yeah,
they could definitely make more if they wanted to.
The problem is that with the ending of Ultimate Custom Pizzeria Simulator, which you'll see if you'll watch it, is that it perfectly wraps it up. It does everything it needs to do.
I do like that ending, and I agree that like it should have ended there, but when you're looking at so many of the fan theories, I do believe Security Breach does tie up quite a few of those by itself.
The problem, though, is that by having William Afton be there, it just destroys everything.
Yeah.
Is that like he can't be killed. He can't be killed, and we've seen it multiple times.
Well, no, you do understand, like, it's not necessarily that him mortally can't be killed, because he upgraded his
essence can't be removed.
Yeah. So do we say he's Ultron now, where he's always somewhere in the metaverse, or did he like take himself out of the metaverse when he uploaded into the new Springtrap?
I don't know. I refuse to believe that Security Breach is canon.
I think I like Security Breach.
I like it too. I think it's great.
Oh my god! Like how can I forget that? One of the scariest things I've seen this year in any horror game. The day-night man.
That is the only scary part.
Yeah. I was like, what in the world is that?
The rest of that game
bro?
is not scary.
The rest of it is like a Solid Snake game. And all
Yeah.
Metal
Gear FNAF is the best thing I've ever heard.
You just stay away from everything, and the game's not scary.
I hate that I never noticed that.
It really is, but
it's
no,
just a
like
stealth game.
whoever designed that particular character,
It's the scariest part of the game.
They need to go to prison. Like
I will say though that my favorite moment in that entire game, and we're past spoilers at this point. Like, whatever. My favorite moment in that game is
spoiler warning. Just
we're
for anyone
so
still
past
watching.
that. We've talked about the ending of 2 games at this point.
I'm not gonna.
My favorite moment in that entire game is still. Well, actually, so my favorite 3 moments is still the when you just absolutely rock the shit out of the animatronics.
Yes, that's always fun to watch.
Do you not remember?
Have you not
seen all of it?
Security Breach?
I've seen. I'm at the part where I get the toy gun and I can like shoot them.
Okay, so he's not there yet.
So you haven't seen any of them yet. Do I even bother mentioning it then? Because they're kind of
you can mention. I probably won't finish it.
Okay. Well, so
each
part
of them
of the
have,
game loop is that you have to upgrade Freddy, because he's
get
your
the different parts.
Yeah, he's your Titanfall Titan. So you have to upgrade Freddy to get different things. And each of the animatronics have their own thing. So Chica has a voice box, Roxy has special eyes, and then Monty I don't care about.
He's strong for whatever reason.
And then it's the funniest shit in the world because I shut up. And so you have to defeat them it's a boss battle. It's like a literal boss battle, and at least
only one of them was really a boss battle. The other 2 were like, get this goal done and the boss is dead.
Well, I saw one and like there was like a giant thing like reaching in the bathroom to grab you or something.
That's not a boss battle. That's DJ Music Man.
Yeah, that's his own. He's like his own mini.
That's
boss.
something else entirely.
He was different.
But like, in order to get like Chica's voice box, you lure her into a trash compactor, where Gregory kicks her in the chest when she tries to dive at him, and she gets crushed.
And that's how you take the parts.
Yeah, that's how you get it. She gets crushed in trash compactor.
You murder all 3 of the...
Well, not murder.
They still come back.
Roxy, you fight her by literally committing, vehicular manslaughter.
Yes.
You literally... This little kid, Gregory, Tokyo drifts a go-kart, slams the wheel into her face. And then the Monty one's done.
The fact that Gregory comes out of that unscathed, I will never believe that.
There's a theory for that Matt Pat put out that I don't like.
I think the Monty was where I stopped because I didn't know that the dude Monty could literally jump. And so he was like looking like this, and I was like, what is he doing? Is he glitched? And he went... And I was like, bro, what in the world? But yeah, the 100%. I think that original, like, the you must be punished guy, like from the beginning, that was some of the scariest stuff I've ever seen. Like, period. Like when he would crawl up the slides and stuff and like crawl towards you, bro, I was like, I do not like this one bit.
See, I really wish they kept him around in the game better than how they did.
Yeah, he was just a marker. I wish he was more than a marker for the
audience.
Because if I feel like they could have really made it to the point where, because there are certain times where you do have to go back to like his playground for sections. Yeah. So instead of bringing the other 3 in there, have him be the main like bad guy in there. Or
just have him be another wandering animatronic.
Exactly.
I think they will
have him act like a balloon boy, where instead of him being the one of the bads you're running away from, he's a modifier to what's happening.
If we do get another game, which we will,
we will.
that he's definitely coming back because I think he was, when you look at like reactions to people playing that game on YouTube, it's the most viewed ones are when people get to that point in the game. Like
I don't know that he would come back in the same way that like Freddy, Chica, Bonnie are coming back every single game, but he'll definitely come back.
He'll make an appearance for sure. I think so.
I was going to say something else, and I forgot what it was. So we're at about an hour. We're coming up on an hour and a half into this podcast, by the way.
Did you time when we started?
No, we started about 6, didn't we? Or did we start after 6?
We started earlier than 6, I thought.
I don't think so. I think we started at 6.
I'm good with doing a long podcast.
Yeah, I'm okay too. Let me check this camera.
Yeah, I think we started at 6.
That should say.
It says we've been going for, it doesn't say, but it says we have about an hour and a half, and it's just under, so we've been going for about an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah. So do we want to wrap it up, or do we want to keep going? Because we can just keep going.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Depends on Sergio, because we're the ones keeping it.
How late do you want to be home?
I'm fine.
All right. Let's.
Okay.
We should probably change the topic Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
So, or we'll go forever.
You had your rant about
Nintendo. You got your rant about.
Well, yeah, we were all in on that. That wasn't my rant.
Sergio, do you have anything you'd like to rant about?
Yeah, well, not rants, but I like. So, what's a video game that you all love that you wish, or you think it's criminal that it hasn't been like remastered? Because this is the era of like, let's remaster this game, right? So for me, there used to be a game called Stranglehold. I don't know if you remember this game, but it was really like a James Bond type game, but it was done in like a Chinese setting, and like it was like a guy it was the most dynamic like shooter beat 'em up game like ever made. Like you could have like dual wheel pistols, and you can like jump on a railing and slide down in slow motion, like shoot people. It was crazy.
You would love the Max Payne games.
It's literally like Max Payne, but it was Max Payne before Max Payne came out. It was so good. It was so good.
So you talk about that. My games that I'd like, as the Nintendo fanboy I am, they've already been remastered, but I want to remaster on better consoles, because we look at the games, Ocarina of Time, My Baby, which is Majora's Mask, those were both put on 3DS. Obviously, they're better than their original, like, polygonal counterparts, but I'd like to see them in high definition on, like, the Switch. Mm-hmm. I also say Wind Waker, I know you like. It's on the Wii U. That one's pretty good, but again, put it on a console people love, so it doesn't get as much hate. The Skyward Sword one's pretty cool, but I was never much of a Skyward Sword fan. And then Twilight Princess, we needed Twilight Princess remaster.
Basically, you just said all the Zelda games.
I will say
the good 3D Zelda
there is one thing from Skyward Sword that I love. What's the main Chad character that's kind of like an antagonist of early game?
I think it's Goose.
No, it's Groose.
Groose, yes.
Groose's theme is like some of the best stuff to come out of Zelda. It's so dopey and I love it.
It's like
yeah,
it's like a weird trumpet fanfare, but
so
it's
good.
like so purposeful.
Groose is like the best thing to come out of that game. By the way, I do cosplay sometimes, and someone convinced me I'm doing a Tingle cosplay at some point.
No,
it'll be golden.
I want to see this when it happens.
My two games that I want, actually I have three, and I forgot one of them. So my two games. No, I remembered. Okay, my three games. Right, I'm gonna do the two that are obvious first. This isn't even a remaster. I just want another Punch-Out game. Either that or I want the Wii one ported.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
I want another.
Definitely feels like something they could do on Switch.
Yeah, it's
it would be so
It's
easy.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like the well, not the porting, but like just another Punch-Out, please. That's a hard one to do now today because Punch-Out is racist.
Oh, they can rework that.
Yeah, but that's not Punch-Out.
It's gonna have
And
to
it's
be.
Nintendo box.
It's gonna have to be. They ain't gonna make no more Punch-Outs after that. I promise you.
The basis of Punch-Out is that it's racist.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. There's that one. I want a good Mirror's Edge game.
Yeah.
That isn't.
Yes.
I want another Mirror's Edge game that is good.
I saw it wasn't necessarily like legitimately, but it kind of felt like a concept for a VR Mirror's Edge game where it was parkouring.
I've seen it. I've played it. It's very good. But
It's okay. It definitely needs more than just the free run mode, because right now it's just like it's a VR game. It's like early. I don't think it's early access, but you can tell they didn't put like much time into it. It's like you're a straight runner. You've got buildings on either side, and you jumping from building to building, and then randomly they spawn enemies.
It is almost exactly Mirror's Edge.
But like, if you could take that concept and build like a 3D world and story around that, that would be what I'd want from a new Mirror's Edge game.
Mm-hmm.
I should just do something that didn't do what Catalyst did, because Catalyst is such a shitty game.
9.
Shut up.
Why do people not like Catalyst?
Oh my God! Here we go. So
We're about to hit double digits.
Have you played the first Mirror's Edge game?
Yeah.
It's fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. So you start. People's main argument as to why Catalyst can get away with so much is that it's a prequel, and I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It is a prequel, but it's a bad excuse. So you in Mirror's Edge you get all you can do everything from the start.
Right.
You can do your fall roll. You can use guns, which you shouldn't because it's Mirror's Edge, and the game is most fun when you're not using guns. If you've never played Mirror's Edge without ever using the guns, you should, because that is the most fun way to play.
It's insane, but it's fun.
It's just like you get all your stuff at the beginning. Mirror's Edge adds a skill tree, or Catalyst adds a skill tree. You can't dodge without a skill. You can't do the falling roll without a skill. I think your wall run distance is upgraded through skills.
Really?
It's open world, except as soon as you enter a mission, it's no longer open world. And the open world isn't really open world. There's like very clear paths that are the only way around.
Yeah.
And it's just very uninspired, just in general. And I also don't think it looks as good as the first game.
Yeah, I think I wish VR was more developed, because I think if one of the two companies were to launch something and say we're stepping into a new generation of VR, can you imagine the response if they showed a trailer for a really good looking Mirror's Edge VR game? They would kill it.
I think a free running game like that. I think a game that is based on motion is hard to do in VR.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Because you have to tackle motion sickness, which is
oh, that's true.
Which means if you're like me and you can just ignore it, I just don't get motion sick with VR
some
games
people
anymore.
can definitely.
See, another thing we talked about this with VR. Another cool concept I've seen going around would be a VR Attack on Titan game.
That would be horrifying.
I've seen some things like that, but I could just imagine, not even necessarily the Attack on Titan aspect, but imagine having your double grappling hooks flying, or a better built Spider-Man game could be another way.
That's less horrifying.
Because they have a Spider-Man game, but it's really just
it's all right,
built,
but it's tiny.
It's built as a trailer for the Spider-Man movies.
It was
where you get a 5-minute story, and then you can go around and there's little mini missions in there, but most of it's just a vertical loop.
Where is my balloon mission?
It's a vertical loop where you just can swing down the streets of New York.
It was fun, but it was really nothing more than advertising for the game.
Yeah.
And then my third game that neither of you are going to know about is a little game that came out on the original Xbox called Black.
I do know. That's was it Black? Was it it wasn't Spies, was it?
No, but it was a first-person shooter.
Okay.
It was kind of spy-ish. So one of my problems with modern video games is that guns are unsatisfying. I feel like a lot of modern shooters, you shoot a gun, and my favorite way of hearing it described, you shoot a gun and it sounds like a man sneezing in an opera house. Guns just are not punching. Guns don't sound powerful in video games. And I think the worst offender are some of the most powerful guns in video games.
Yeah.
Granted, except for the stuff that is famous for being disgustingly powerful, like Desert Eagles and 50 cals.
Desert Eagles do sound good.
Oh yeah, it's hard to screw that one. If you've never played Black, and it's hard to play because it doesn't like being emulated, and I don't think you can play it on Xbox One or Series X or the new shit.
They haven't put it on Game Pass or anything yet. Yeah. I don't think it is.
The starter pistol that you get sounds like a car exploding when you fire it. Just one single shot. The Spaz 12 that you get 12 seconds after starting the game sounds like a train crash. It is the most violent sounding game when it comes to sound design. It is so... It's not even realistic in how it sounds. It's so over the top that you're holding this weapon and you're like, this is gonna kill someone. This is something that is so dangerous, I shouldn't be holding it.
I feel like that would get annoying nowadays, though, because most of us game with headsets, so the last thing I want to hear is a car exploding every time I shoot.
You need to play it because it depends on how you do it. Because if it's something where it's obviously bass boosted out the ass every single time you do it, it's obviously going to be annoying, and people are going to be like, all right, I'm going to turn down the volume now. But I think more. Actually, here's another thing. I think more single player shooters need to be made. I think there's a market for them right now. Because Far Cry technically doesn't count because it's multiplayer, but it's supposed to be single player. I think Far Cry is doing great right now. It's doing okay. I haven't played 6 yet.
I mean,
Far
Cry 6 can't be terrible if you've got a little chorizo following you around.
Yeah, I need to play that. It looks so good.
Story-driven shooters in general, I think, need to make a comeback.
Story-driven first-person shooters.
Right. Well, this one's third-person, but still, one of my favorite shooters is Army of Two.
That's so good.
I love Army of Two, and I love playing it with a friend. I wish stuff like that was more prevalent because that has complex characters and development.
I'm gonna be
throughout.
totally honest with you. I don't remember the last time I genuinely got hooked to a story game where it became my number one priority to play that story.
That's a good. I don't.
Because most of the games.
Oh, Ghost of Tsushima for me.
Oh, I need.
Ghost of Tsushima was so good.
There's games like that where I really want to get them, but my whole market right now is games where I'm just having fun. If I feel like it, I hit record on OBS and I can upload clips of it to YouTube. It's just joke games where you can take it serious, but you don't. And like we were playing earlier, you saw on the projector, we were playing Warzone. I haven't touched that since launch. Yeah. Just because I hated the whole no anti-cheat, and I kind of was against it. And then we talked about this last podcast where I was like, how long did Ricochet come out? And it was a month ago, and that's how long was Warzone out before Ricochet? And they said exactly, and that's why I haven't touched that game. But I was that's the first time I was genuinely having fun in a battle royale in a while where we weren't super try-harding or kind of memeing a bit. That's my type of game. But, like, I'm trying to find a good story game where I can just sit down and get, like, hooked on the story.
Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima was definitely mine. I think that's the last one I played. I was like, yo, like, this is actually really, really good. And I knew from the trailers that I was going to love that game. I remember when they first debuted that at E3 and, like, just the scenery of the game and the music, I was like, bro, this is going to be the next level.
I'm gonna get judged for this one.
Okay.
My last big, not even for the story, and that's gonna get me judged even more because I'm gonna have to explain myself. Not even for the story was the reason that I kept playing, but like a single player story based game that I played that like really drew me in. The last one was probably Shantae Half Genie Hero.
I don't know what that is.
It's the
We'll
2D
show you after.
pirate platformer. She's got the long purple hair.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So the reason why it's not the story is because I really like the gameplay. I think it's fun.
I like that idea because it definitely took like a 2D platformer and kind of like expanded on it in its own really cool way.
The Shantae series is so much fun. I haven't played the new one yet. I need to play it.
There's a lot of those like old, I call them retro, but they're fairly new. But like they
Retro
keep
style.
Yeah, retro style where you keep that 2D side scroller, but you give it that cool mechanics. It's like
You would probably like the Shantae games.
Yeah.
Really?
If you like Metroidvanias, you would love the Shantae
Okay.
games.
It's games like that where like I get hooked for a few hours, but then like
You can't play them with anyone else in the room that doesn't know what you're
God.
playing,
Okay.
and you'll see why once you look at the screenshots.
No.
But
Like
yeah.
Bayonetta?
It's a little worse than Bayonetta at points.
Really?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
the Space Princess bit in Pirate's Curse. Is it Pirate's Curse or is it
Remember,
Half Genie
I
Hero?
haven't played them. I've seen some gameplay of. I think it's Pirate's Curse though.
I think so. I can't remember. They're good games. They're
Yeah.
all on Steam.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm out of things to say, so I'm going to pull up my notes for video game news.
I think my what's your favorite like video game like character that you think hasn't been done justice enough? For me, it's Sonic. Like I love Sonic games, but lately
Yeah.
they have
Sonic is digging his own grave.
Realistically,
They have been fumbling
Sonic
Sonic
has some of the highest potential ceiling, but like they just
Yeah.
haven't. I'm interested because I know in a recent, I don't remember when they showed it, but there's a potential. It was a Sonic game that looked similar to the new Kirby game that's coming out.
Oh yeah, no, there's a new 3D Sonic game.
Yes,
coming out.
it was. They didn't like leak anything, but like they showed like a trailer, and it looked fairly open world.
They did essentially what they did for Breath of the Wild too, where they were just like,
where they
"This is
showed,
what we're
they
making."
showed
That'd be
the,
really cool.
Yeah, they showed the big opening. So I'm kind of hoping it would be open world. I don't really know how you'd make a Sonic game open world.
Yeah.
But if you could have like Sonic running around at Sonic speeds in open world,
They've done it before though, and it's worked.
Yeah.
With Adventure 1 and 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like if you can pull something like that where you take that character and you kind of like change what the current meta for him is, and just at least try it out and see if they work, if they can do it right.
I think the adventure style is really the only way they can realistically do it, just because of how the character is based. Like, the whole point of the character is to be moving as fast as possible for as long as possible.
Well, they try to do it with Sonic 2006, which I
Sonic
still say
06.
I will say, like, people hate on that game.
Watch
and
your words.
It is a buggy it is a buggy mess. But I absolutely love the story and everything of that game.
I'm trying to think.
Like,
That
it
game,
is a buggy
I
mess.
have to show you a video.
It is
Sonic-
literally the buggiest game I've ever
The
played.
Sonic
It's
games
disgusting.
that I actually like can recall that I've actually sat down and played for more than an hour. Sonic Colors, I 100%ed. I actually really
Sonic Colors
enjoyed
was
that
good.
game.
It was decent. I liked it.
I played through Sonic and the Black Knight, which was a weird title in the Sonic.
Yeah.
That one's not
franchise.
bad,
It's
though.
not
It's
terrible.
not. And it has
No.
really good music too.
Exactly.
The music is really good.
But like it was one of those where it wasn't at all what I was expecting, and it made me want to keep playing more.
Yeah.
On top of that, I played.
Did you play Unleashed?
I did play a little Unleashed.
People hate on Unleashed, but Unleashed was gas.
I
bro.
didn't love it, but
I didn't like the-
again. It was one of those games where it kept pulling me back because it kept pulling.
The night
unexpected.
levels were a little iffy,
They were
but the daytime Sonic levels in that game were really, really good.
I love that. I love that Sega allowed Sonic Mania to be released, and they saw how amazing that did, and they were like, "Oh, we don't have to make our games.
Yeah.
We can just hire people to make our games for us,
Yeah,
and it's
for
so
sure.
much better than we do."
Mhm.
God.
But yeah, those were, as far as I can remember, those are all the Sonic games I've actually probably spent more than 30 minutes in.
Yeah, Sonic is definitely the game for the character for me that I feel like this current generation, like my younger brothers, for instance, right? I feel like they don't have an appreciation for Sonic like I had, just because there hasn't been any really good Sonic games. Whereas you look at like Mario, And, like, they can appreciate Mario because he's had good games come out, like, in the past, like, decade or so. But I feel like Sonic just hasn't really had that breakout, game that people say, like, yo, this is a really good Sonic game.
I just looked on my Steam library to look at games, see if I could find a character like that, and I just realized I've owned Forza Horizon 5 for the least amount of time out of any game currently, and it is my 4th most played game on Steam.
Jesus.
Alright, this might be, like, out of left field, but it's also something I don't expect to happen anytime soon. But I don't know if either of you have ever heard of the game called A Hat in Time.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
I love Hat in Time.
It's such a good game.
It's okay, we're playing Hat in Time. You and me are
What
playing Hat in Time.
that?
So it's like a 3D platform. It's kind of like a Mario 64-esque where you get put into world. It's definitely, but like, so imagine Mario 64, but you get your different hats are different abilities that you unlock throughout the game, and it's got better movement. It's higher. It's such a creative game.
It's so much fun.
It's literally like I'd argue to call it Mario 64 remade, remastered, because like obviously
I probably will like it though.
It's not Mario 64, but the story's amazing. The artwork's so good.
Can we do that for a series? Can me and Sergio just play Hat in Time?
Can we just get one of those 100-player lobbies and just get the 3 of
No,
us?
because that's annoying.
Yeah, but
I want to do a playthrough.
No, because that's annoying.
It is. It's funny, but it's annoying.
But like that was one of the first games like on Steam where I went in very cautiously because I think at the time it was early access. It was like a $30-$40 game. Hadn't seen anything on it, but like when I was reading through it, it fit all the categories of a game that I'd like, and I went through it, and I probably, besides 100%, because I've got the DLCs.
That game's
like,
hard to 100%.
One of the DLCs is literally like impossible mode missions.
World.
Two of them add like new worlds,
Nyakuza
which
is so good.
Nyakuza is fun, and then Seal
the Deal.
Seal the Deal.
Seal the Deal is just like more challenges.
No, Seal the Deal added the cruise ship.
Oh right.
So that level was fun, and then the deal side of that is literally you go throughout all the worlds. It's basically 110%.
It's a challenge. Mode. It's
a challenge. Like one of the ones I can think of is the what's considered the final deal is you have to beat all of the bosses in a row, no breaks, not taking damage. So like that's that kind of. But like that's one of the first games I sat down, played all the way through, and then wanted to keep playing all the way through again because like the story was so good. I just loved every part of that. And like they're still working on like DLC and stuff for that, so I don't see a new relaunch of it coming anytime soon. But if they made a new game with like a new engine and kind of reworked how movement and stuff work, I'd just love to see what that studio could remake out of that.
Gears for Breakfast is such a good studio. Isn't that their first game that they put out?
I'd have to look. Because I've seen their logo other places, but I think that's like their first.
I think that's their own game that they did themselves.
Yes.
I think they've worked on other stuff. No, we should definitely do a playthrough either for the channel or just because.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
For it because
it's such a good game. Like,
it's so funny.
Let's see if I recognize the picture at all. Oh, see, I already recognize.
I have a comment to make. I hate Mustache Kid. I think she's the worst character in that game.
But that's what you want out of a villain.
I want to murder a child.
It's one like
I want to strangle a small child with my hands.
The villain is a girl with a mustache.
That's spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, but
it's not. It's like 2 hours in the game.
Because you can beat the game in like 3 realistically.
Yeah, but you're skipping a lot of the game.
Yeah, but like your main it's not even 2 hours. It's literally like within the first world.
Yeah, it's
so it's a little spoiler, but you know it pretty early on. But like they develop her so like it's so well because like they like within the first world, which is like you can beat it in like an hour if you're playing through at like regular pace. Within this first world, they have you save her, you become friends with her, and then she stabs you in the back, and she's like a little piece of shit that you want to
That's one for you.
Yeah, that's one for me. You made double digits. I had to get one. I think I said one earlier too, but like it's just so amazing how this studio took this character, made him like best friend. I really like this character. Like I can't wait to play with her. She stabbed me in the back.
I'm going to strangle a child.
Exactly.
I think part of the reason why I hate her so much is that I went in not liking her. I don't like her design very much.
It's also weird because like just little girl with mustache.
Yeah,
that's
weird.
her design.
It's such a good game. We should play that. All right. I think we're getting to where we should be wrapping it up. So
Yeah.
let's go through the video game news that I pulled for the week and do some comments. I have to cut out an entire. Actually, no, because I can mention the Nintendo Direct stuff that we didn't get to.
I'd also talk about Legends Arceus a little because we talked about it last one because it was getting ready to come out. Now that I've had a little while to play it, holy crap, it's so
You've got 1 minute, go.
Okay, so you remember back in the days of Minecraft where they had the Pixelmon mod, right?
Yep.
Imagine that, but done properly by a legit Nintendo title.
But it looks like
Okay,
GM Flatgrass.
But the thing is, all these people that are arguing that it's so bad because of the graphics haven't even played the game, because that's not the worst part of it. The worst part is by far the item storage system, because you get a limited amount of items you can fit in your backpack at the beginning, and then you can talk to a guy to pay money, and it exponentially increases for each you get one storage per, so first one's 50, second's 100, next is 200. It keeps going up. I think it maxes out at 20,000. But the whole idea is to get your money, you capture Pokemon, you fill in your Pokédex. It's such a cool concept, and they basically took a normal Pokemon game, threw it in the garbage, and started from that. And it's so good. Okay, I'm done.
Time. I will not be playing it because I'm poor. All right. So I got a few points here. I think we're gonna do what we seem to be making a trend of, is that we're gonna try
a game news recap at the end where Lucas covers the points.
And we try to do it very quickly.
Yes.
So my first point: more than 160,000 Battlefield 2042 players have signed a petition asking for a refund.
Yes, that does not
really?
surprise me.
I thought it got well received.
It's a
bad,
laggy, glitchy mess.
So did you play the open beta?
Yeah.
So imagine if they released that as the full game.
Yes.
Wow.
That's how bad
so
it
nothing
is.
changed.
Nothing. They, literally, people were playing the beta and they were like, I'm kind of, and they what is it? EA Dice.
I think it's Dice.
Dice did an open Q&A or whatever, kind of near the end of the beta, and people were like, "Hey, the game's in a really bad state right now. How is this going to reflect on the final game?" And they were like, "Oh, well, the build that's out right now is not the most current version of the build being worked on. That's why it's so unstable. It's just it's the most complete version. It's the most complete build of the game." And people were like, "Okay, that's fair. We'll be hopeful." And then it released, and it's awful.
I swear, I saw Shroud streaming it one day. He said he was enjoying himself. I thought people were.
The game is fun.
So here's the thing. There's the competitive try-hard side of Battlefield, and then there's the idiots like me and Lucas or Shroud who just jump in, have a good time with friends, have a meme. But I know me and him in the beta, there were times where we could unload a whole clip and just get no regs. The full clip of no regs.
Point blank too.
Point blank,
not even Battlefield distances where you're trying to.
I could be standing here on Lucas, you saw in Warzone, some of the distances I'd be executing people from. I could unload a full clip and still not kill him. And it
was so clearly not a bullet travel time issue. It was just so clearly awful hitboxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad because the core gameplay loop of that game is fantastic.
Yeah.
Everything that they set out to do correctly, I think they did. It's just that the game is a steaming pile of shit.
The weather elements even look really good.
Yeah.
When I was watching.
Unpopular opinion: get rid of 2042, remaster Battlefield 4.
Battlefield 3 was better.
Bad Company 2 is better. Have you played Bad Company 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I played all of them. The only ones I just hated. I hated when they try to go back in time. Battlefield 1. Yeah, I hated that.
Yeah, I liked it. It was fun. I understand why it's a bad Battlefield game, but I thought it was fun.
I actually thought the one with the cops was pretty good.
Oh, dude, Hardline is so much fun. I've been pushing for a team-based first-person shooter where the two sides get completely different equipment, just depending on what their faction is. And Cops vs. Robbers is such a good thing.
CS:GO, but to the more extreme, where it's not just your.
Where it's obviously
rifle.
balanced. Yeah. There's obviously their comparison where there's the Glock and then there's whatever the other one is, because I forget. Where they're different, but they're close enough that you can balance it really well. But that's the entire game.
Yeah.
If they did Hardline 2 and then went in hard on that, I think it would do good.
That would be awesome.
All right. So some of the Nintendo Direct stuff that we didn't cover. Mother and Earthbound are coming to Switch Online.
I saw that. I was super hyped because that's something I know a bunch of people have been talking about. And then I realized I really don't care about that game at all.
Yeah, I don't either.
Didn't Earthbound literally just get dropped on the did they release it? Because I was on it last
Earthbound
night.
came out 20 years ago.
Yeah,
no, but I mean
Earthbound has
the online
been a
version.
Japanese exclusive since it dropped.
It was Mother 3 that was
I didn't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
but it mostly has been a Japanese exclusive. I think Earthbound had like a small release in America, but like
it didn't.
It got to the point where like they canceled it, and then like to get a copy of Earthbound in America, you have to spend like $120.
Which character is that?
Ness.
Lucas.
Okay.
Ness.
Okay. Yeah.
That game is fantastic.
It's such
I don't have 70 hours to dump into an RPG.
It's such like it was such a good RPG for its time. Like realistically, you could argue. It's up there with like Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, I would say it's
like
above
that.
it.
Yeah,
because just with how good the central story is, how good the entire thing is.
Exactly.
Because lately, like me and my girlfriend Bonnie has been playing Donkey Kong Country on the Nintendo Online thing.
Fantastic game.
And so like we went through last night, and it had like usually when they have new games released on it, they'll have
it's
like
got
a new
the little present.
Yeah.
And so I went over it, and I saw the first one, and then the last one was Earthbound, and I was like, oh, I can't remember what character this is, but I know it's like a big Nintendo game. So
there's a specific way you're supposed to play Earthbound and Mother, and if I knew it, I would tell you because you would probably like those games.
Yes, they're really good.
But it's one of those games where it's almost like Ness's Sans. It's almost like Undertale, where there is kind of a correct way to play.
Yeah.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I have never been more excited for a Kirby game in my entire damn life.
I still haven't seen the trailer, but I saw the meme with the car.
Hashtag Carby. Hashtag Carby.
I've seen the
Go watch
everywhere.
the trailer. It's literally one. Okay, so you know how there's the Chow Garden in Sonic?
Mm-hmm.
That, but Waddle Dee's.
Really?
That's all I gotta say.
There's that. And just
you have Waddle Dee Cafe. It's so good.
The gameplay looks so good too. Like it makes me think of what was the 3D Mario game? Is it Mario 3D World?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but they did that to Kirby and did it well.
So it's not one of those like open world.
It's
tropes.
not open world, but like it's 3D,
it's open level.
It's open level is a good way to. It's
Okay.
got like the 3D where you can explore.
Yeah, there's very clearly
like
a start
Galaxy?
and an end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Galaxy.
Yeah, there's very clearly a start and an end, but you can do anything.
But then like they also discussed there was the equipment leveling system. I thought looked pretty cool. So you usually eat an enemy or consume an enemy, you get their ability. Now you I don't know how it's gonna work, but you upgrade that, and what I'm guessing is your Waddle Dee Cafe, where you pay this many collectibles to upgrade it, and the next time you consume that enemy,
it's just more powerful.
Level 2, level 3,
Gotcha.
and like some of those abilities look dope. I'm excited. I'm not usually a Kirby guy, but that one looks
so good. I love Kirby games so much.
He's a very good character.
Kirby is a bloodlust murderer.
I actually saw that they didn't. Have you ever watched that YouTube channel Death Battle or like they had Kirby on there? I don't know. Kirby was such a menace, bro.
Which game is it that has where you play as Kirby, Meta Knight, DDD, and then the Waddle Dee?
That's the new 3D one.
Well, the one before that.
Yes.
The one that was on the Wii.
I don't remember what
Kirby goes on a bloodlust rampage because someone steals his food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Kirby is a cold-blooded murderer, and I love it. It's the funniest shit in the world.
I mean, the one I've played most recently, I think, was Epic Yarn, which...
Epic Yarn is
Epic Yarn's good.
So,
Epic Yarn's really good.
It's such a baby game.
It is, but, like, for adults, too, like, it's just such a good game.
Yeah, sometimes, like, the kiddie-looking games are the best ones to relax to.
Like, it confuses me, though, because, like, Epic Yarn was amazing, but then you turn around and make a game like Yoshi's Woolly World. I hated that game.
It was okay.
The sequel to Woolly World is bad. Is Woolly World the first one?
No, Woolly World's the second one.
Which one's the first one? Crafted World?
Crafted World?
Crafted World was good.
One of the first one was good. The second one, they completely ruined.
All right. The only game, or I'm the only person that was excited for this game in the direct, Splatoon 3.
I'm hyped. I was talking to Riley about this. There's like, I don't know if it's story, but it's like a Call of Duty Zombies mode.
Really?
Yes. It looks super hype. It's 4 players, wave-based, and the idea is, like, you've got your main zombies, but then, like, I'm guessing each wave they're going to spawn.
In Modern Warfare, it was like 2 and 3, they're wave-based shooter.
Oh my god. So
it's more
I
like
think
that.
it was literally just called Survival.
Yeah, I think it's more like that.
But it's like that, where like you survive, and then at the end of, I'm guessing it's at the end of each wave, a boss. Like Salmon, I think they were called. But like your boss zombie comes, and then when you kill that, I'm guessing when you kill that, it drops your collectible, which I think were called eggs. And you take that egg, and it's like a capture the flag where you take it back to your base. And I think you keep playing until you get enough eggs, and once you collect all the eggs, you take them back to base and you escape, which looked super dope.
I don't really care for Splatoon, like, to play it, but I always root for Splatoon games because, like, that community, like, they ride for that game.
That game, dude. Like,
people
were so mad when Splatoon 2 came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's so good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that community rides for that game.
It's really cool. like, because this is what I'd argue is Nintendo's, I wouldn't say most competitive, but it's like top 5 top competitive.
It's Nintendo's
game.
only competitive shooter.
Well, yeah,
Oh, it's
exactly.
definitely, and I think that's my point. Is I think that community wants it to be esports so bad, but they don't just say, "Hey, make this an esports, support it." Like they will put on their own like grassroots events for it and things like that.
I wouldn't be surprised with the release of Splatoon 3 that we see it expand into esports more.
If Nintendo backs it, I think it's inevitable.
But it's Nintendo, so they're not.
Nintendo's not going to back Jack.
They're starting to make progress on Smash now.
But then
finally.
Ludwig came in and said, "No, my tournament." You saw that,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
they finally released the official Nintendo Smash Bros. Tournament, and Ludwig said, ha, "Good meme, 3,000 or however many," and he made his online tournament. But yeah, that game looks hyped. I need to see if I can find a way to play Splatoon 1 because I've got access to Splatoon 2 and I want to replay through the stories.
The stories for the Splatoon games are actually pretty good, which is kind of weird. So Disney and Pixar are working on a kart racer now.
It's
called Disney Speedstorm.
Don't get me started.
It looks bad.
Imagine, so you know the Sonic Racer games.
The Sonic Racer
Imagine
Sonic
those, but 10 levels lower.
Oh god.
That's
so
why
the
Sonic Drift
Nickelodeon racing.
Yes.
games.
But worse than that.
Oh my god! It can't
looks-
be worse than
it
the
looks so
consoles not being able to handle the frames of the slime in the game, and so it's skipping all over the place. It can't be that bad.
Mickey Mouse's ears weren't even round in that trailer.
Oh god!
It's so bad, dude.
That's what I'm trying.
By the
to
way,
say.
talking about racing games that made me angry, I had a moment that was really funny. It was yesterday. So I don't normally play. Welcome to the Forza talk. To be
Oh
honest.
no!
I don't normally play the online race mode in Forza because that's how you become a serial killer. My all-time favorite moment of me being angry happened. It was just it was a dirt race. It was a mixed surface dirt race, which is my favorite type of race in Forza.
Mm-hmm.
The person in front of me is driving an old 60s Dodge Challenger, and they are very clearly living in the boonies because every 30 seconds or so, their car would be driving along, and then it would just nosedive off the course and then come back. And it would just nosedive off the course and come back. And then in the second race, it was like perfectly stable for like the majority of the race. And I get a chance. They're like, oh, I can overtake them. And this is like really, really near the beginning. And all of a sudden, he nosedives into me, pushes me into a building, and forces me into last place.
No.
I play. This is also ridicule. I'm gonna catch. I play most controller-based games with a Steam controller because I think it's fun and I like the Steam controller.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
It's so good. I stood up and I took. This is the only time I've thrown a controller. I stood up and I'm like, God! Chucked it at the ground as hard as I could.
Those are not the
R.I.P. to
controllers
that
you want to
controller.
be throwing. Yeah.
It works perfectly fine.
Really?
Really?
Yep. I'm so proud of that
You got
little
carpet
trooper.
in
And
here?
that little trooper. Nope, it's all hardwood.
Oh,
That little
oh,
trooper.
wow.
Let me tell you.
The Steam controllers are like $70-$80 though, aren't they?
They're not for sale anymore.
They're not?
Nope, they discontinued it, which is
Okay.
upsetting because I love the Steam
Well,
controller.
I still have a Steam Link, but I never...
But that thing's awful.
I want to get a Steam Deck.
Oh yeah,
that
that thing's
so
apparently
the
fantastic.
Yeah, I want
the
one.
Steam Link, I never had problems with. It was just my internet was so dog.
If you get a Steam Deck, you have to let me borrow it 'cause I can't afford it.
I really do want one. I don't. What's the prices on them?
The cheapest one is like $3.99,
4 or 5.
and then they go up
So
incrementally depending on
PS5.
how much space you have.
I need to get a. Actually, this is the 1st
They're
time.
expandable though, so that's good.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever thought about getting the Xbox before I get the PlayStation. Just because of Game Pass. Literally
Well, I mean,
because
it's
of
not
Game
even
Pass.
Well,
that,
here's the even
PlayStation-
better part about it. Get Game Pass on PC.
Exactly.
Well, I have that too,
Yeah.
but like sometimes I just want to sit on my couch and play.
Yeah.
See,
so-
and that's what I...
Oh, I didn't finish my story.
Oh,
by the
yeah,
way.
go for it.
So
Before I get on this.
my apartment is above a place of business, and I was playing this game at like 3 p.m. So I scream and I throw the controller at the ground. Almost immediately, I hear the broom. That was funny.
Oh, no, but as I was saying about the Steam Link, it wasn't terrible. My internet was dog, though.
I have good internet. It never worked good.
I literally, like, even on my bad internet, there were some times where I didn't have problems with it, and I thought it was, like, really cool, which most of the time, like...
I think it works best as a media machine.
Yes.
I don't think it works as a gaming thing. Especially because you can't certain Xbox controllers you can't plug in.
At the same time, I also bought it on sale for $5,
So
I
did I.
can't complain. Which when a company puts one of their
It's
like
so funny. It was such a big flop that they were like, we have a warehouse full of these, and the cost of the warehouse is costing us more money than we are earning.
So
from
what
selling
is the
it.
Steam Link?
So the Steam Link
you
is
remember-
basically like way to stream. It's kind of like its own PC that you'd end up plugging into the TV, and you'd stream your games from your PC onto the Steam Link, which would run into
it was PC games.
Yeah, there was an NVIDIA version of it that did really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The problem was that it was the size of an iPhone and ran off an Android chip. And so, like, it was not powerful enough to run the majority of games.
But, like, most of the games I ran on it were, like, party games, because my PC was on this side of the house, the living room's on that side of the house, and when I wanted friends over, I didn't want to squeeze them all into my tiny-ass room. Oh, there's another one. I will. But, so I'd run that up front, and we'd take the living room over for the night. And, like, yeah, it was bad because our internet, like, I think back when I first got it, our internet was probably, like, maxing 5 down, 1 up. Which,
you lucky person. That's not what mine was in my hometown.
But like, we got it working. There was some input delay. Obviously, it wasn't perfect, but for games like back then we were playing like Stick Fight, other like stupid little fighting games like that, it worked just fine. But like, yeah, as you say, when you get up to like, if you want to try run, I'd say probably like big titles like your Call of Duty or stuff like that.
Not even that. Like, I tried playing Hat in Time through it and it wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
By the way, you were saying you had fun with it. Was that because of the Steam Link or because you had friends over?
Yes.
Yes.
It's not good.
Yeah.
The Steam controller, however, is fantastic.
I think I've seen pictures of it. I think it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, everyone hates the Steam controller because it doesn't have a right joystick. It has
It's
a touchpad.
got like a touchpad,
which is awful for like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but you can control your mouse with it too.
Oh, it's
which
fantastic.
Is really cool.
But there's like a select few games that the Steam controller is phenomenal for. Like Binding of Isaac is so good with the Steam controller because one of the pickups you can get in Binding of Isaac is like an 8-directional thing.
Yeah,
and you just have a touchpad, so it's like perfect. Yeah, there's a few, and I'm playing Hat in Time with it right now again. And it works perfect. It works perfectly for games like that.
Yeah,
bro. Or like third-person platformers.
I need to get back into the updated version because there was a time where I was speedrunning Hat in Time because I don't know. So I love the Hat in Time community because one of the major clips in the game is called the Boop clip, and the whole reason is because there is an emote for when they unveiled the multiplayer. They gave a bunch of emotes and like words. So the whole idea with this clip is one of the emotes, which was the boop emote, which would have you go up to a player and you'd like boop their nose and go boop. And so the idea was if you did that, I say pixel perfect, it's like not that hard, but like you got to be within a certain amount of pixels. If you do that while falling from a ledge, you boop through the wall and then you just clip through the wall.
I love.
You get the satisfaction out of the weirdest.
I know.
I love
just
weird
the
little
naming
speedrunning
though.
clips.
But like the name of that, just the boop clip is the funniest thing to me.
All right. I don't know if either of you are gonna know about this. You might know about this. Atomic Heart just got a new trailer.
I don't know.
Atomic Heart.
So going back to single-player first-person story games, do you know the? The Stalker games. God, you please play more games. So essentially, what I have to explain what Stalker is to explain what Atomic Heart is, even though they're not at all the same game. What Stalker was Chernobyl just exploded.
Oh yeah, you
except
told me
it's
about this.
gone so much worse than it did in real life. That pretty much all of Russia is now a contamination zone. And now there are people in this zone called Stalkers, and they're the people that are surviving in the zone. And it's an open world survival game.
Yeah,
where you go and do missions. It's kind
this.
of in the vein of Fallout a little bit, but so much better. They're fantastic games. Atomic Heart is another post-apocalyptic. There's another post-apocalyptic game set in Russia, except you know the start of Fallout 4, where like it's all what time period is that? I've got a specific image that will tell me specifically
the 60s or
what.
70s, isn't it?
I have a specific image that'll tell me what punk genre that is, because that's a specific punk genre. Atom punk, that's what it is. Where it's that atomic age punk, where it's everything's all clean plastics and that sort of stuff. It's that style of game, except the big bad robot company has broken down and is now the robots are going crazy and killing everyone and no one knows why. It is such a weird game because like it pulls from so many different genres. It feels like where it's like it's got cutesy genres with like weird little characters that you run into. It's got horror genres where there's just this just amalgam of a beast that exists because time rifts are opening. And it's a first-person shooter too, with crafting elements and all this other stuff. I'll show you the trailer. It's stupid, but I love it. It got a new trailer, and I just watched it, and it finally got a soft release date, and it is supposed to be coming sometime in fall of this year, and I am so excited.
There's another good old Lucas rant from, not necessarily a rant.
Dude, like, if you've never seen the first release trailer for Atomic Heart.
No, you've shown it to me.
I have. You have to go watch it. It is so good. Like, I am going to show this to you because I think it's amazing. And then my next rant, which is the last note that I got.
Yeah, which we should probably...
yeah, this will be the last.
Yeah.
We finally got the release for Gran Turismo 7. Or not the release, but it got announced that it's being worked on. And whereas this is going to mean nothing to either of you because you don't play racing games.
I'll play Burnout.
Yeah, Burnout's fun.
I like
Burnout's an arcade racer.
Mm-hmm.
So where you have, for the longest time, Gran Turismo was the real steel... It was the real steel sim racing game that was accessible to everyone. Mm-hmm. And then there was the Forza series, which was a little bit less realistic, but more in other ways. And then there's the Horizon series, which is batshit crazy. Horizon games are fantastic. It feels like, from what I've seen so far of Gran Turismo 7, that where instead of Gran Turismo being a standard, like, career-style racer game, it'll have that, but it's going to have open-world elements, too, like Forza Horizon. Mm-hmm. So you'll have your like racer profile that you'll be building up by doing different things.
Is it kind of like The Crew?
Kinda, yeah.
Where it's like open world where you can just drive your cars around.
And it seems like it's going to be very interesting. I cared until I saw it's a PlayStation exclusive.
Oh,
that is so.
And
tough.
I am so sad.
I know you were so disappointed.
I was so I was so hyped for that day, and then I saw PlayStation exclusive, and I was like, "There's no way this game is going to sell." With the 12 people that own a PS5.
That's true.
Granted, it's coming to PS4.
Well, I'm sure the scalpers will have a field day on that game.
It is coming to PS4, but in standard new game fashion, it's going to look awful on PS4.
Oh, probably.
So.
Oh, that brings me back to the good old days when the PS4 was first being released, back when Black Ops 3 was like, it was like the birth child, or not birth child, but like, that was the game that was starting the conversion to PS4. Where you could still play the Call of Duty Zombie stories, but the graphics were
absolutely
horrendous.
Horrible.
Like, if you watch some of those videos from back then with the graphics comparison, you just look at that and laugh.
I should make you play the Battle Royale in Forza. I was just thinking of that. It is so... We've already talked about it.
Let's just start a series Sergio plays. And
I'm telling you, I think it would be a good series. We just force Sergio to play games
yeah.
he's never played.
Just sit him down for an hour or two, like once a week.
And get his final review of a game. I think we should do that. I think that would be a lot of fun. That'd be an easy one to do, too.
Like
we're doing
it.
Yeah, that wouldn't be hard.
Easy content.
We're doing that. I have so many games.
There you go. Now we've got something for the people to look forward to.
Coming to a home theater near you.
Coming to the YouTube channel that you 13 viewers are watching.
Hey, it rose since the last time you said
it. Did it?
Yeah, because you said 12 last time. We got a new viewer.
Oh, well, I thought I said 13, but...
Thank you, people of Earth.
The 13 of them.
No, the 12 of them. Thanks for that one from Mars.
No, he left. Is there anything else we want to wrap up with?
I mean, I think we're pretty good to wrap up because we've been going for like a solid 2 hours.
Is there anything you want to announce?
I already talked about our event, so make sure you're on the lookout for our event. It'll be streamed on twitch.tv/unified live. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. If you're in the Kansas area, come out and participate. Come play some Smash or Rocket League or something. It'll be really fun. So I'm excited.
Well, you announced it, and I didn't see they said anything for Smash. And I was
should be.
Is there?
On the tournament.
I was looking at the thing you put way back when on Discord, and I didn't see Smash, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a Smash tournament in there.
And then where can the good people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ImPhysics, IMTHYSIX.
It'll be linked down below, so you don't necessarily have to
that's
spell
fine.
it out.
Yeah.
As long as I remember. But
yeah, that's fine.
You Twitch stream too.
Yeah, I do. I try to as much as I can. A lot of times, like, that's the weird part about like working in esports now is like sometimes I get home and I'm just like, bro, I don't even want to look at a video game at this point. Like, literally. So like a lot of times, the only time I'll play something is if my girlfriend says, hey, let's play Donkey Kong Country on the Switch, and I'll turn it on and play that. But I stream occasionally. I like to play a lot of horror games lately. That's been like the thing that people like watching me play the most. So
if you haven't heard this man scream at a horror game, you haven't lived life.
Yeah. I really like. I say I hate horror games, but like I really do enjoy playing horror games a lot. And then I'll play Valorant here and there too. So yeah, I try to stream as much as I can. So follow me on my Twitch too.
And I think that wraps everything up for us. Thank you for joining us on episode 3 of the Bravescast.
Do we have an official outro?
No, we just cut it.
Bye.
Bye.